2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Gillespie looking to throw it in. Gets it up top to Queen. Dribbling left. Big step down the lane. Runner for the win. Banked it in! He banked it in! He banked it in! And Maryland has won! Maryland is going to the Sweet 16!
It's the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network with the call. Derek Queen, checkmate, Perloff, Maryland. We finally get a buzzer beater. We actually had a double kind of buzzer beaters in this game at the very end. Colorado State hit a huge shot to take the lead, and then timeout. Maryland regroups. It's their freshman who's likely going to be an NBA lottery pick, and Derek Queen, who is just fantastic.
Yeah, by the way,
dribbling steps.
Yeah, dribbling against his body and doing a one-legged Dirk bang shot. Yeah, I had that on my bingo card. That was such an odd play.
Yeah.
But thank God we finally got some last-second drama. I was waiting all weekend.
I know. So we'll start off with just the best and worst thing we saw from the tournament over the weekend. And it's funny because I think this play is kind of the best thing and the worst thing. It was the best thing because we did get a buzzer beater. It was very exciting. Maryland's back in the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2001 when they won it all. But very controversial. And I know that we don't know what traveling is anymore in basketball. There's different rules in the NBA than there are in college. And I know Gene Steratore really did a lot of backflips to try to, cover for the officiating crew. But that was 3 steps. Now, I don't have a dog in the fight, but if I'm Colorado State, who was on the losing end of this, I am sick. They have not been this far in the tournament since like the 70s or 60s, I think. And it was a travel. It was a clear travel. And I think it comes down to what you and I have talked about a lot with football and baseball and every other sport. If the play's so spectacular, do you want it to hold up, even if by the letter of the law, it should have been called a travel?
Yeah, the way they're calling travels in this tournament, if they called that travel, it would have been insane. No way. And yeah, I mean, kind of 3 steps. I saw a guy at the top of the key just walking around with a ball in his hand and under his arm like a loaf of bread. No. There is no way you call that. And even so, I'm watching it now. It's not so clear to me that was a travel.
Oh, really? I feel like he took 3 giant steps. It was like Neil Armstrong on the moon. It was like a giant step for mankind. He's got the ball, as you said, loaf of bread style underneath the arm. And Steratore is telling you, for the third step, he had it like under his arm. And that's what Steratore said was the reason they didn't call the travel, is because he had it gathered. That's the word. It was gathered, and that didn't. I guess that's okay if you're in the process of gathering the ball.
I watched a ton. I watched the entire post game. Nobody was having any issue with that. Where is this all of a sudden a thing? I missed that this was a thing.
Oh, this is a thing. It's a big controversy. Now, listen, I think everyone was so hyped up about the buzzer beater that and Colorado State isn't exactly, like a basketball powerhouse. So I don't think they have, it wasn't like Duke or someone like that getting hosed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I understand the argument here it didn't look like a clear travel to me in real time. And the way they're calling this tournament, there's no way that was a travel. I'm not going to let you do that one to my Maryland Terps.
Listen, I've got the Terps going far too. Again, I have no dog in the fight, but it definitely was a travel. Okay, if it was to me sort of the best and worst thing. It was best because it was a cool buzzer beater, but the worst because the travel call. What else did you love from the weekend or hate from the weekend?
Well, I hated the lack of Cinderellas. I mean, what's going on? So college football, the Cinderellas are good, and college basketball, the Cinderellas are bad.
I didn't think about that.
Well, I've heard this argument's being made everywhere that the mid-majors are losing all their players to the good schools, so now they can't compete past the first round. So I was looking at my bracket all weekend. I needed a Drake. I needed some juice here. Mm-hmm. Who do we got? Who's our darling? John Calipari? I mean, and all his recruits at Arkansas? It's such an unusual Cinderella. So this is probably, from that standpoint, the most boring bracket we've had in a long time. It is just major conferences, mostly the SEC, which is annoying too. It just doesn't feel like a typical March Madness to me. I would not describe this as March Madness. I would call it March Mildness, trademark.
Wow, March Mildness. And you trademarked it already.
March Midness.
March Midness.
I mean, here's the one thing.
Same.
When you don't have the Cinderellas, what they tell you, what we think, is that you get better games in the second round, right? Because you have more powerhouses and heavyweights kind of slugging it out. And to be fair, we did get some really good second round matchups, right? UConn and Florida yesterday, which came down to the wire. Obviously, you got, St. John's and Arkansas on Saturday, which was a really entertaining game. We'll get more into that. But there were also still some blowouts. There were still some games that were just never felt like they were anywhere close. Did Baylor get within like 19, 17? They couldn't really make a run against Duke. It did sort of feel like not just that it's been chalky and it's been about the heavyweight teams. We haven't had tons of close games. So in that way, yes, yeah. I'll take your March Midness business.
I mean, honestly, Florida should have lost to UConn. UConn had them, and then they just got a little bit cold from three. Exactly. And even here's the thing. You do bring up a good point. You should have great Sweet 16 matchups, so you get that on the positive.
Yep.
But, that's the way you want a tournament, right? You want the Cinderellas to eventually go away. Even these second round matchups don't feel as charged as usual. I don't know. Because I think this is the point where you should know if your bracket's in good shape or not. But does anyone really know? I think it's all TBD.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be that person that just goes chalk, but all 4 1 seeds are still alive. Yeah. You mentioned the SEC, 7 teams out of the Sweet 16 from the SEC.
Yeah.
And the irony, only 1 from the ACC. What happened to the ACC is the powerhouse basketball conference. Only Duke remains, who, might win the whole thing.
Right. Also, you didn't have 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed lose in the first round for the first time in several years. So, yeah, it was super chalky. And also, who do you get behind now? And the funny thing to me, and get back to this, do you get behind Calipari? I mean, that feels wrong to me. That's the guy we're all rallying around?
He is the underdog of this tournament, I think, in seeding only. To be a 10 seed, it's still Arkansas. They're still in the SEC, the powerhouse conference. Took out Pitino and St. John's. We can get into that ending of that game on Saturday afternoon. We have the Big East Player of the Year sitting on the bench for the last 4.5 minutes or so. And Coach Pitino, after not really giving a real explanation, he just said he's 3 for 17. Stop asking me leading questions. I don't know, Coach. It was kind of the biggest decision, probably any individual decision that was made in this tournament so far. And the fact that he kind of just tossed it to the side, don't bore me with your insignificant questions. I don't know. This one was really significant.
Yeah, so, I mean, and also the thing is he's Rick Pitino, so he's kind of saying, don't question my basketball knowledge.
Yeah. Manny, you want to put this up as a poll question? Are you rooting for John Calipari? Is he the underdog now? I'm going to be honest. I found myself rooting for him a little bit. I did.
You didn't want Pitino to get through just for the story?
Yeah, I think Cal's a good story. I do.
mean, I hear you, but Pitino is. If Cal could get to he has a great line here to keep on advancing, but Pitino would have been all time. That would have been a documentary.
See, I think that Cal, though, Coach John Calipari, and the way that it ended with Kentucky, right? It was 2 first-round exits and a second-round exit in his last 3 tournaments when he's coaching Big Blue, and then he gets shoved aside, and then he pops up at Arkansas of all places. And if he actually ends up going on a Final Four run here, wouldn't that be unbelievable? That would be like a John Calipari checkmate, and I just didn't see it coming. We thought his best days were definitely behind him. How can he coach in this era when it's not about freshmen anymore? And it's, except for Cooper Flagg, I guess, and Derek Queen, but it's less about freshmen and less about one-and-dones as it is the transfer portal. And they started this season 0-5 in conference play, and now here they are.
That's all good, but
great story.
It's not as good as Pitino's story would have been. The dude was at Iona 2 years ago.
But that's his own fault, Just
that's always say with Calipari.
Well, different circumstances, a little bit. I mean, major scandal that got Rick Pitino ousted at Louisville. Then he has to go to Greece for a couple of years.
Greece. He went to Greece. That would have been, if St. John's had advanced, that would have been an all-time story. For Cal expects to win national titles at Arkansas.
Really?
I mean, yeah, he's going to have the best in 2 years of the best recruiting class, of course. You think Cal is as disgraced as Pitino? Pitino was in Greece. I think everyone's like, oh, okay. I mean, Cal basically was, he brought his team to Arkansas. Nobody thought he was going to come. Everyone had him in the top 25 in the preseason.
No,
so
I
mean,
get
he's still
that,
going to be an elite team. I think Pitino was a shock.
I think there were maybe some like Pitino, but also thought that Calipari's best days were behind him. And
probably, but still, I mean, nobody was taking this Arkansas team lightly coming into the year because they're coming off Kentucky, brought some guys over. I mean, I don't think it's quite the Cinderella story. That's your Cinderella?
That's my Cinderella.
That's your Cinderella.
That's all I got for you.
I can't accept that as a Cinderella. I just will not go there with you.
Well, this is not the Cinderella type of year. And listen, I'm not ready to just pack it in on college basketball and say it's broken and the transfer portal and NIL has destroyed everything. Guys, it's also conference realignment. That has really changed how we're talking about this Sweet 16. It's it's only the SEC and one team from the ACC and the Big 12. Well, BYU wasn't in the Big 12 recently. Houston wasn't in the Big 12 recently. And so I think the conference realignment has made this look a little bit different than we once had thought. Because if those teams are still in the AAC and in the Mountain West, we're mid-majors. They're still alive and well, but they all conference, the conferences got bigger and they got bloated, and now you don't have the same kind of parity.
Well, it's funny because you say the Big 12. Texas Tech plays Arkansas next, right?
Yeah.
Who is the Cinderella out of that group? I mean,
Texas Tech is the 3rd seed in the West region.
Yeah, I know, but they feel like the smaller school out of those two for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. And, I know that they had success with Beard, but generally, though, that I don't think I think Arkansas, your Cinderella, feels like the big dog in that matchup, even though they're the lower seed by far. They're the 10 by. I mean, who's the closest seed to them in the next round? We have one double-digit seed. Again, I refuse to accept this thesis that John Calipari is this great rebound story.
Okay, so
this comeback story.
Maybe the question is not, are you rooting for Calipari? It's is he the underdog? Coach Cal, the underdog. Feels weird when it comes out of my mouth like that. He's not an underdog. He's a Hall of Fame coach, literally in the Hall of Fame already. So it's a little odd, but I kind of think the slipper fits. It's as close.
I guess because he had a couple of injuries, but how many teams in his bracket did he come in rated higher coming into the season then? So you have to ask that.
Yeah, but, coming into the season, that feels like ancient history. You're playing in the toughest conference in America, and you start out 0-5. People were abandoning ship on that.
Yeah,
whatever was left of the bandwagon was off. And to be fair, here they are in the Sweet 16 again. They're going to face Texas Tech. We're asking, what was your favorite moment from the weekend, and what was the worst moment from the weekend? And seeing a little bit in the chat here, youtube.com/InfinitySportsNet, as we say good morning to all the Weedos. Definitely a travel. All-time moment on Derek Queen yesterday.
If they
Maryland
call that would have been
travel.
Bananas. Yeah, maybe by the letter of the law, and even that's debatable. In 1,000 years, they were not going to call that. Right? I mean, if they'd call that would have been That would have been true March Madness.
888-710-4ISN.
New phone, who dis?
710-4476. Brand new phone number. We're all still getting used to it. You guys have been awesome saving this number in your phone and give us a call because we want to know what was your favorite moment and what was the worst moment from the weekend when it comes to the NCAA tournament. We got football news for you. Not the kind I was expecting over the weekend. We will also update our movie sequels bracket a little bit later on in the show. We got some Cinderellas over there. Maybe the real tournament isn't giving us any Cinderellas, but the movie sequel bracket is delivering. So we're excited about that. 888-710-4ISN. 888-710-4476. It's Maggie and Perloff show. Just getting going. Oh, this weekend was very good to me on Prize Picks.
Oh, really?
Oh,
All
yes.
right, let me hear about it.
Well, my bracket is toast, but it's a kick, save, and a beauty with Prize Picks because this is the best place to play daily fantasy sports. And it turns out that I'm terrible, Pearl, at picking games, but you give me over, under on a player projection, and that's where I am money. So when I was combining some college hoops with a little bit of NBA and then college hoops with a little bit of hockey, turns out I'm unstoppable. You got to give this a try. The app is really simple to use. You just pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projection. Bro, you can win up to 1,000 times your money, and I have a lot more money to play around with after this awesome week.
All right, congrats. Don't miss your chance to cash in, just like Maggie did. The league's best fight for playoff position in the NBA, too, is great. Join Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, available to play in 40-plus states, including California and Texas. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code MNP to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play just $5. That's code MNP on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get the $50 bonus credit for just playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff. Whoa. Get a little quiet storm here with Ryan Botcher on the ones and twos. Big debate. Is Arkansas the best Cinderella we got out of this tournament? Arkansas with all their top recruits and Coach Cal. Where's, why didn't McNeese or Drake make a move here? We got Arkansas, and to me, they are not really a Cinderella.
Well, if the slipper fits, Pearl, I mean,
How
you
does a
got to
slipper fit?
jam it in there.
I'm looking at my entire half of the bracket. They were rated higher than any team on their side of the bracket except Auburn coming into the season. They're not a slipper team.
I'll tell you what, Drake should have made a move at the deadline, try to get a real key piece. Probably would could have helped him right now in the postseason.
Nothing could help Drake. I think this is the bottom line. This is what we've learned. The real Drake.
Yeah,
the
which
Drake
Drake
the
are we
school.
talking about? Yeah, the two get confused.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Let's go to Ricky, who's in Arkansas. You're up first here on the Maggie and Perloff show. Ricky, are your Razorbacks a Cinderella?
Oh, absolutely. My name's Ricky, and I'm from just down the street from Bud Walton Arena, the basketball palace of Mid-America, the home of the Arkansas Razorbacks. And we were going to be a bubble team, and I mean just by the hair of our teeth, a bubble team, which would put you about a 14, 15, or 16 seed. Mm. My belief is the only reason we got a 10 seed is because the selection committee wanted us to play Bill Self and then Pitino.
Yep.
And we did not deserve a 10 seed. What Calipari's done with this team, we've lost the top two scorers, and he continued to keep this team just gelling and coming together as one unit. And I believe it's his best coaching single-season coaching demonstration of his entire career.
I've heard that a little bit. I think you go back to the UMass teams maybe if you want to look at best coaching. But listen, Ricky, I love that you kind of stated like your name and rank. Like Ricky, Arkansas, down the street, Bud Walton Arena. You got the bona fides. We're not going to argue with that. Thank you so much for the call. And I like what Ricky's saying is that they're a 10 seed. They should have actually been even higher, lower.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can only do so much with how low can you actually put them?
Well, they could have been a first four, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, first four for sure.
It's possible, but they did get the 10 seed.
Which would have made them an 11.
I do agree with Ricky. I think the committee, you know how cute they like to get. They love to get so cute, that committee. And I think they did want that coaching heavyweight of, I don't know about Bill Self. That was like a bonus. I think they definitely wanted Calipari and Pitino head-to-head.
Yeah, but I don't think, they couldn't have fallen any logistically lower than 11, right? Isn't that how it works? Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so I don't think that was a huge surprise. Again, okay, I admit, losing guys to injury, he's done a great job, but what if they lose to Texas Tech? Are we still going to look at this Cal team as one of the great Cal jobs? Probably.
I think winning 2 games in the tournament, you beat Bill Self, you beat Pitino. Yeah, I'm not saying mission accomplished, but kind of.
Yeah, but I'm going to go back to, was this St. John's team what we thought they were? Did they just roll through a down Big East?
I don't want to do that. I mean, I think UConn had a bit of a down year, and obviously they got bounced yesterday by Florida, but that was a really good game, and we'll bring you some Dan Hurley sound in just a moment because he's a nut. But I don't want to do that. Creighton was a good team. I don't want to say the whole Big East was down this year. I'm not going to buy that.
Yeah, I just think that we all saw it on TV. St. John's is not a good offensive team.
No, but that's not who they were all season. It's
Right.
not like they changed who they were.
Right, but
they couldn't hit the ocean from the end of that game. We're talking about the Rick Pitino, John Calipari, Arkansas St. John's from Saturday afternoon. That game was great, but no one could hit a shot. It was some ugly three-point shooting.
In terms that our cohorts here can understand, it reminds me a little bit of the Tom Thibodeau teams. Like, they're great in the regular season because they just have more energy and run, but talent-wise, they're not quite there for a playoff run. Right? They were just out hustling and out enduring teams because of the Pitino style in the regular season, so they could be tied with Creighton with 8 minutes left and just put the squeeze on. But that doesn't necessarily work in the tournament because everybody's up for every game. Yeah, I wish I had faded St. John's even more. This Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll do some bracket redos in a little bit. But
easy for me to say now. I had him in the Elite Eight. I just want to be clear about that.
A couple people probably would have rethought St. John's a little bit. Meanwhile, let's get to AaronRodgers.
What the is AaronRodgers up to today?
Have we confirmed that he has left the city of Pittsburgh yet? We know he's left the facility.
Oh, yeah. I would bet anything he did not hang around in Pittsburgh for the weekend.
Pittsburgh's beautiful. Maybe not in March.
Friday to Monday, AaronRodgers, you think he's just sort of hanging out?
Andy Warhol Museum, great
There's no
food
baseball
scene.
game to go to for 2 days.
Anyway, Rodgers was visiting the Steelers over the weekend. We found out 6 hours, Pearl. 6 hours in the facility, but leaves without a contract. So that's probably not great.
Well, that's how they did it with Russell Wilson. Last year, Wilson left without a contract. We have reports over Sunday that Mike Florio and Pro Football Talk said that it looks like it is probably going to happen at some point.
Yeah, I've heard safe bet that it's going to happen. But again, leaves the facility with no contract, so now things are up in the air. Listen, the Steelers have to do this. Like, they've got to do this. They've got to do this because they don't have any other great options. Like, at least Manny's Giants picking third in the draft. You know, you can squint. Maybe they can get Shedeur Sanders. We'll talk about that a little bit later because the Giants also signed a backup in Jameis Winston. But what are the Steelers going to do? Well, just going to start Mason Rudolph already and end the madness? Like, what's happening?
Well, it's not the question. The Steelers want to do it. The question, to me, it seems like the ball's in Rodgers' court. Does Rodgers want to do it? They don't have him for 6 hours with no other options. They're in. I sense that they are in with 2 feet. Do you have any? You think there's any reluctance?
Well, I mean, maybe Rodgers want to sleep on it. I don't know.
I think it's Rodgers who's slow. And Pittsburgh, since there are no better options, probably should take your time. Because what's their other, as you said, what's their other option? Trade for Kirk Cousins? I don't even know. Joe Flacco?
Bring Ross back.
Bring Russ back? Oh, God.
So here's what this is the what I was thinking about over the weekend. Like, why would Aaron Rodgers leave without a contract? Okay, maybe he just wants to think it over. You know, you get to see the city of Pittsburgh a little bit. I don't know. But there's another thing here. And we just saw it last year with Kirk Cousins, where Kirk Cousins goes to the Atlanta Falcons. They paid him a boatload. And he only left Minnesota because they couldn't guarantee they wouldn't draft a quarterback.
Right.
I wonder, as Rodgers, and I know the Steelers picked 21st, so like so many things have to happen for them to land a QB. But are they not giving Rodgers any assurances? Like, hey, if a quarterback we like, if it's Jackson Dart, if it's Jalen Milroe, if it's whoever is sitting there at 21, we're taking them. And, you know, it's not implausible that he would start some games, the younger guy. Like, are we seeing what happened with Kirk Cousins? Is Aaron Rodgers trying to avoid maybe the embarrassment of what Cousins went through with the Falcons taking Michael Penix?
It doesn't feel like it to me because he's 21.
I know.
Especially in this draft. That's a major project. Jalen Milroe? I mean, Rodgers would be comfortable having him as his backup because I don't think they'll ever want to go to that guy.
Well,
I mean, that's going to take
love
2
him.
years. Yeah, I mean, I think he's 2 years away. It feels so different. Penix went number 8, and Penix was 24 when he came into 23 rather. He might have been 24 when he came into the draft. So that was he'd just been in the national title game, much different situation. So I don't think Aaron Rodgers is scared of anybody there. Now, if they did draft Tyler Shuck, who's 25, maybe, normal backup age, maybe that's an issue, but I don't think so.
So what do you think's holding it up? Money?
I think Aaron Rodgers is
still holding out for Minnesota?
I think he's on the beach looking at, I think we're talking about Buddhism. I don't even know. I think we're into ayahuasca. I think Aaron Rodgers' wacky mental processes. I think it's Aaron Rodgers is considering the holistic approach to this. Buddhism, yes. I think Aaron Rodgers is bringing his strange Aaron Rodgers energy to this.
Well, this is Pittsburgh. You got to trade out the Buddhism for some French fries on a Permanente Brothers sandwich and get with the program. I mean, you're talking about him on the beach, the shores of what, the Monongahela?
No, I'm saying I think he went back to California and he's contemplating, do I want to do this on a spiritual level? I know I'm sounding silly, but I think this is all Rodgers stuff. Nothing to do with Pittsburgh, nothing to do with the rookie. I think he's deciding, I wanted to go to Minnesota. It was indoors. It would have been awesome. Offensive coach, not going to happen. I think he's looking at this situation and saying, God, it kind of sucked. Remember that game against the Broncos when it was raining outside and cold in New York? Do I really want to be in the AFC North on a non-offensive oriented team? I think he's wondering, is this the spot for me?
Well, I would probably take that a little personally then if I'm the Steelers, where Minnesota, you would have been all gung-ho, but for Pittsburgh, you need some kind of spiritual quest. I don't know.
Why would you take it? I mean, Pittsburgh's not in a position to take anything personally. Who's their quarterback right now? They don't have a quarterback in the building. Do they? Mason Rudolph. Yeah. So who they clearly don't want to start. So no, I don't think they take it personally. Do you think they do?
No, but it's just it'd be hard not to, right? You put the full court press on the guy for 6 hours in the facility. And then he leaves and he's like, all right, I got to really think about it. It's like, have we not been thinking about this for weeks? I mean, it's not like the Steelers came out of nowhere with an offer. Like, you would imagine he's been contemplating this now for a couple weeks. And I'm not saying he has to get, pressured into a decision. But at some point, you either want to play or you don't.
Welcome to the Aaron Rodgers world, Pittsburgh fans. This is just the beginning. You think it's weird now. It's middle March. Wait till July. I mean, maybe he doesn't want to go
Sounds like a threat.
Maybe he doesn't want to go to
Wait
camp.
till July.
Maybe he doesn't want to go to off-season programs.
Well, then he doesn't want to play because if you go into a new team, that's going to be as impactful as anything. You've got to get on the same page with DK Metcalf and with George Pickens. You've got to start being the guy in the building. Believe it or not, I know Rodgers' stock is kind of down right now, but guys on the team are still going to be looking to him as a leader.
Well, what if he already had the plane ticket to Egypt last spring? Honestly, I think if you take Aaron Rodgers, you have to understand much more comes with that. He's a 41-year-old multiple-time MVP. He's not Joe Flacco.
Yeah, but he's not coming in to have the locker in the corner where nobody is going to pay attention to him. He's still Rodgers. He brings so much with him. But by the way, you mentioned he had a ticket to Egypt. Did you see there was some new things that were found in some of the Egyptian pyramids that were not in Giza, but near Sudan, where they have now totally rethinking who may have been buried in those pyramids.
Bogusch, time for updates.
You're out on this? Back to Buddhism?
It's too close to her
watching
reading
White Lotus?
the JFK documents.
Guys, not me.
No,
This
it's
is
in the
science.
news.
I understand, but it is a close cousin of who shot JFK, what really happened with the pyramids.
No.
Is there not dead bodies there?
This is not the aliens built the pyramids. That is all bunk. What I'm saying is they found some muscle skeletons and mummified people who look like they were doing heavy labor, which would not have been the ruling class. That's not the pharaohs. They're not lifting a finger. That's the slaves and the regular people, the common folk. So they were saying maybe it wasn't just pharaohs and rich people who are buried in the pyramids. It could have been also the rank and file.
Y'all better leave them alone. Y'all better leave them alone before some bad juju starts floating around in this world. Leave those ghosts alone, y'all.
Honestly, whoever opens a tomb, you got to be crazy to do that. The Tomb Raiders, I know they stole a lot of riches and things from, but some horrible things were bestowed on those people.
I thought you were doing the Tartarians built the pyramids, which Rodgers has said many times.
That's stupid.
Facts.
Yeah.
But the problem is, when I saw this headline, he was the second thought I had.
Yeah, of course.
And then I got mad at him for being that deep in my brain.
And Maggie's
the number
trying
one
to
Egyptologist in the world is
Maggie
now second to Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. You're telling me that we were talking about Aaron Rodgers, then you get into this topic, but you were just sharing a random headline from the news that is not related to some weird conspiracy theories. But I think you're in that pool. Otherwise, why would you share that story at that given time?
Well, you said Egypt. You said Rodgers already bought the ticket to Egypt. And I was like, speaking of that, we got this news recently from some reputable science magazines and such.
Some crazy technology that they're using to scan underground to find these things.
Oh, boy.
Pearl, this is not, This is not your run-of-the-mill conspiracy theories. I'm not talking about radio waves and stuff. We're talking about real stuff.
This is just the news part of it. The conspiracy theories come shortly thereafter. People now know this is the starting point. Now they're going to tell us why this is going on. But it's news that they're discovering this stuff.
Right, and it's news that fits in our show where we've been talking about Arkansas and whether Derek Queen traveled. And like, by the way, did you guys see what happened in Egypt with the ruling? Like, it just feels like
that's why this show is
we're
the show.
dipping our toe into, come on, there's a million hard news stories that we will ignore to talk about the NCAA tournament. We're going to?
We were talking about mummies. They're called John Calipari and Rick
Pitino.
Pitino.
Wow.
That's mean.
That's a bit of a save. Thank you, Manny.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, well, what do you want to talk about, Pearl? You want to
Well, I'm
talk
just
about
saying,
Houston
speaking
defense?
Speaking
The
of
Knicks beat
Aaron
the
Rodgers,
Wizards. Woo!
speaking of
That better not be in the update.
Robert Saleh
I'll
mistakenly
put it in
calling
the
out
update
Aaron
right now.
Rodgers at a press conference. Did you guys see what happened? I don't know. It just feels like I thought you were going towards their Aaron Rodgers, who built the pyramids. Because
No,
he's
I'm not
talked
doing
for
that.
hours and hours and hours.
All right, fine. Back to BYU Bama, everybody.
It's related. I don't think this headline
His
to me,
grandpa made tater tots.
what they really found out about the
that's a
pyramids.
Yeah, I know. Delicious.
It's not that different than who built the pyramids. It's related. It's adjacent. New technology discovers things about the pyramids, kind of in the same ballpark.
It might
No?
change the entire timeline of human history.
Oh, give me a break.
Someone got crushed by a rock. Let's just be real. That's the issue. The person building the pyramid got crushed by a rock, and they just found his body.
Oh, interesting.
That's probably what happened.
But you said he was mummified.
I thought he was mummified. Maybe not.
Maybe they just, they're like, there's just a body laying here. Let's just put him in some wrap.
Can I tell you another crazy thing?
And
If you
some
get
rap.
Wrap it up. Can I tell you another crazy thing? You know, when they would mummify people, they would actually take a hook, put it up your nose, grab your brain, and they would take their brain out through their nose.
Is that what you learned at GW?
Yeah. First day on campus.
That
Okay,
seems
welcome
inefficient.
to GW.
Yeah, that does sound inefficient. That doesn't sound.
Just to let you know,
Is it possible?
student unions
Okay,
over
now
here.
I'm no
they
longer
take
on
brains out of
Maggie's
your
side
nose.
here.
They
What?
didn't have anesthesia or anything.
No, the
You're
person's already
dead.
dead. They take out all their organs and put them in these things called Coptic jars, but they would take a hook and put it up your nose and grab your brain and take it out of your nose.
Is it possible, by the way, this whole thing is just say, look at this body so we can ignore the aliens that are also
it's a
buried underneath the
misdirection.
pyramids?
Now we're getting somewhere,
You're
Pearl.
falling for that?
That old gag. All right, let's get to some headlines. Top that, Bogusch.
All the headlines are sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Your small business keeps you on the go. Progressive Commercial Insurance keeps your policy within reach with our easy-to-use mobile app. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com. Colorado State was on the verge of its first Sweet 16 since 1969.
Rocker Johnson to Clifford down in the left corner. Backing it against McGill. Whips it past the lake. Three from the right for the lead. It's good! 6.1 to go. Rams up one.
Jalen Lake with the go-ahead three on the Westwood One NCAA radio network. Just 6 seconds to go, but then Derek Queen happened, the first buzzer beater of the men's bracket, to get Maryland the 72-71 thriller. Lake going from hero to heartbreak.
I can't even put it into words. I mean, this has been the best 4 years of my life, honestly.
So the Rams go home. Maryland makes it to its first Sweet 16 since 2016. First since 2017 for Florida, fighting off UConn 77-75. And first since 2019 for Kentucky, an 84-75 winner over Illinois. Kobe Bryant, 23 points for the Wildcats. Caleb Love had 29 plus 9 rebounds and 4 assists to lead Arizona past Oregon, 87-83. Michigan State down New Mexico, 71-63. And Ole Miss took care of Iowa State, 91-78. That makes 7 SEC teams in the Sweet 16.
Sheesh.
On the women's side, number 1 overall seed UCLA took the third quarter 29-7 to dismiss Richmond 84-67. Lauren Betts 30 points and 14 rebounds. On the men's coaching front, NC State has formally hired Will Wade, and Texas fired Rodney Terry yesterday after 3 seasons. The Longhorns reportedly close to replacing him with Xavier's Sean Miller.
Wait, you forgot the big story about Will Wade going to NC State, not alone.
Who's going
is
with him?
Aura going with him?
Aura, Amir Khan, transferring to be the student manager now for the Wolfpack.
Oh.
I just don't like him.
I thought he was 62 years old, though.
I know.
Is that official? I thought he might be a grad assistant.
No,
I think he might get
Andrea from Berkeley had the. Oh, yeah.
wrong
did you? I don't know if you heard that. Yeah.
No, I wasn't. No.
That's
I
where
did
we
not
got
hear.
Amir Khan is 62
She
from
accidentally.
a mistaken astrology
Yes.
reading.
Yeah, it happened. Apparently, Amir Khan's very popular name, including a very famous actor from India who's in his 60s.
So that's not the guy in the yellow jumpsuit?
Mercury is rising right now.
Yes, the chat is very big right now that Mercury's in retrograde. I think they're calling it Manny in retrograde. I don't know why,
I like it.
but they're also asking if
Is that
Mercury's
what it
in
is?
retrograde and rising in Uranus is the type
Oh
of
my
sophomoric
God.
humor
Dump that.
we
Grow up.
appreciate.
I like it.
Jugs.
Calling all booze.
Yeah, come on in.
I appreciate
We
it.
got pyramid talk.
Now that up Uranus would be really, really, really uncomfortable. Anyway, yeah.
You want NBA scores or are you good?
The next one on Saturday.
Yeah, against a team that's terrible, and you guys celebrate like they won the damn tournament. You're the worst. You are the worst people.
Who celebrated like they won the tournament?
Everyone's posting things. We're back, this and that. Like, you beat the Wizards.
I just posted my daily victory post. I added no caption, no we are back.
My
because
daily victory post. That's the problem.
Bogusch, I crushed them in the text thread this weekend. Crushed. It's become a weekend. Every weekend, I just kill the Knicks fans. That was a hammer. You have to.
That was a
admit.
pretty cool picture that I sent, though, right?
He sent a picture of a Spider-Man video game.
Yeah.
I'm like, what was he trying to save the Knicks in Game 5 against the Hawks? Yes. I actually put my phone down and high-fived my daughter. She's like, why are you high-fiving me?
All of a sudden, Perloff walking down the street whistling like
Oh, God.
like John Travolta.
A reminder that Trae Young is like 11 and 19 against the Knicks.
Yeah,
I
that
know,
settles it.
we don't care as much as you do. I saw Steph Curry
He's a
rejoining
bum.
the team for the road trip to Miami. It's like, yeah, I'd also rejoin the team for that specific road trip.
A lot of jugs in Miami, I bet.
There you go.
Milk, of course.
That's what happens when Manny takes over. There we go. I think we're good.
Pearl's out.
Well,
Pearl's been out since the Egyptian pyramid.
I already forgot, by the way. What was the jugs joke that we did for all week?
I don't even remember.
How did we get to that one?
It was Jay in Nashville.
Jay was,
Right.
I think, grocery
right.
shopping.
Because he works at a milk jug
Yeah.
factory. Okay. Which was probably
So
a
he
lie.
says.
Jay probably made that one up. I know Jay has a million jobs.
Yeah. Smartest guy I've ever had as a caller and listener. Very, very smart guy. And now working, I think, the overnight shift in a milk jug factory. And the comedy just wrote itself.
Yeah, he said, I've been watching jugs all day. And he went on with his call. Then we went back to it a minute later. Wait, what did you say? Yeah, I've been watching milk jugs go. Yeah.
That sounds like a lie that like you tell your wife that you're covering up your affair. Like, oh yeah, I got the night shift at the milk jug factory.
Yeah. Then he got very
But that's
specific.
believable.
I bet you do.
I think Jay said, he's like, it's like the opening to Laverne and Shirley, except milk instead of beer. And at that point, I'm like, well, he wouldn't make up that detail if it was a totally fake story.
I believe Jay's my emergency contact.
Yeah,
I believe
no.
anything that guy says.
No,
Used to be Ryan Botcher. But we
Jay
don't see
probably
him
knows
enough.
things about Egypt that we barely have ever heard of.
888-710-4ISN. Not sure why I'm giving out the number there, but 888-710-4476. We're asking you this very important question. Is John Calipari Cinderella? Are you rooting for him as an underdog? You can let us know. AaronRodgers in Pittsburgh, but left the facility without a contract. You're welcome to weigh in on that, too. Coming up next, we get into the craziest coach in college sports, maybe sports, period. That's it, M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Say good morning to our affiliates. And if you want to watch the show, youtube.com/InfinitySportsNet, twitch.tv/InfinitySportsNetwork. Okay, looking back on the weekend of the NCAA Tournament, we have the Sweet 16 set, but UConn's run ends, Pearl, after back-to-back championships, won a game in the tournament, and then loses to the one seed in their region, the Florida Gators. And Danny Hurley, well, a range of emotions, really. First, let's hear Hurley exiting the floor, which has become like must watch. And this is what he had to say to the waiting Baylor team that was waiting their turn to eventually take on Duke.
I hope they don't do that to you, Baylor. I hope they don't do that to you, John.
All right. Well, you heard the bleeps there. First of all, he said, I hope they don't bleep you like they bleeped us. Well, it's not the same officiating crew. This isn't an AAU tournament somewhere.
No, the they is bigger. It's a whole universe. It's the NCAA.
Oh,
They're tired of UConn winning and screwed them against Florida, which is not exactly accurate.
No, I think Florida hit, 6 of 6 shots down the stretch and just went on a little bit of a run at the end
UConn
of the
went
game.
7 minutes without hitting a shot, so... No,
Can't blame this one on the officials, but Dan Hurley was trying as much as he could. So that was exiting the court. Emotions are high. Here's Dan Hurley, and this is where the Jekyll and Hyde kind of comes in. So that was him leaving the court, angry, cursing, spewing venom. Now here he is with Tracy Wolfson.
I thought we played with tremendous honor. I thought we played with the heart of a championship program and a program that's gone back to back. And for a team to end what we really wanted to do, they were going to have to put us down. And obviously a worthy opponent like that, there's honor in the way we went out.
Okay, Dan Hurley sometimes is like when you're in a toxic relationship with somebody and they kind of blow up all the time, but then they immediately apologize. And it's like, who is this person? But that is Hurley in a nutshell. He is as fiery as anybody. It looks like he's going to have a heart attack on the sidelines, although he's not the only coach like that. But he goes bananas on the sideline, and yet you get to the press conference like eerily calm. Like, it almost makes him seem more psychotic of how calm he is when he's talking to someone one-on-one or at the dais, because the fire that's burning inside of him.
Yeah, I think Dan Hurley has to change. I'm being serious. He is just he's way too intense on the officials. Again, he reminds me so much of Bob Knight, because Bob Knight won some titles just like Dan Hurley did and thought he was kind of God. And I think Dan Hurley, more than any other coach, acts like, you're calling that on me. He thinks that he is, he definitely thinks he's above all the other coaches. There's no doubt in my mind. He said it. I'm the best bleeping coach in the country. And I think he thoroughly believes this. This is Bob Knight's ego act 2.
Okay, well, here's the thing about that characterization. Bob Knight was able to get away with it for a long time until he couldn't.
Right. Well, I wonder, is there a shelf life for Dan Hurley acting like this? Doesn't he feel like he could burn out at some point?
Definitely. Without a doubt. I'm actually kind of surprised it hasn't happened yet, to be honest with you. But yeah, I could see it. The one thing is, does he actually have the self-control and the discipline that Bobby Knight did not have? And to choke a player, not let alone like throwing the chair across the floor. We talked about that. The anniversary of that was recently. They still have the chair at the Indiana athletic department, and that's kind of like a symbol of Bob Knight's just like passion. But him choking a player obviously got him kicked out of Indiana. He ended up rebounding and going to Texas Tech, but still.
I do agree, by the way. He does have this charm in interviews that you heard there.
Bobby Knight did not have a charm that I saw, No.
He
was kind of mean in real life, too. May he rest in peace. But
behind the scenes, people did like him, or at least they were loyal to him. He had look at how many coaches were under him.
Yep.
All of them. Coach K is a version of Bobby Knight. I feel like Dan Hurley could watch Coach K. Coach K had a lot of the Bob Knight things, but not the bad Bob Knight things. He kind of was able to contain his anger, barely. You could tell Coach K was just as intense as either of these guys, but he made it work. So Dan Hurley's got a choice. I think he's at a fork in the road. Am I going to continue down this road where I am just tearing a new one on the officials, or am I going to try and contain it?
I think we know the answer to that. I don't think there's any sign of stopping. Now, you're saying he has to change. I think he believes that he's doing this the right way. And, listen, we know that Coach K and the Hurley family have been connected going back to the early 90s. So and Coach K, it was shocking sometimes to see just how incensed he would be on the sidelines. But, we never heard anything about him being abusive towards players or anything like that.
Nope.
No. So I think that Danny Hurley feels like he can just continue to do this. I think it's an arrogance that is probably earned. I don't know if he's going to end up blowing up, but we talked about this a couple weeks ago after the Luka Doncic trade in the Lakers. I said, man, if you're Danny Hurley, you're like, I should have taken that job. Little did I know how different it would be with Luka Doncic with the Lakers. And you said, Perloff, he could never be an NBA coach. And I'm tending to agree with you. Like, that would not fly. And it's barely flying in college. Some people love it, some people hate it, but it is so over the top at times.
Yeah. It seems like it'd be really problematic to act like that in the NBA, especially, you brought up that point that the Lakers would have been a great job with Luka, but that's huge expectations, and it's easy to fall short. I don't think the Lakers, even with Luka and LeBron, are going to win a title anytime soon. It's going to be really challenging. Maybe if they don't do it this year, LeBron gets older, then it's Luka with no team around him, almost a worse team than Dallas. That would drive Danny Hurley crazy. He just feels perfect for college. He's got to adjust. He can't run onto the court and look like he's going to murder the official after every single call. Every call.
But who's going to tell him no? And it's going to be a self-implosion if it's anything.
Well, he did, he's a little different. Maybe his ego came down a little bit because they lost this time. They had just won 2 national titles. He went out in the second round here. Finally, UConn lost. Maybe that changes him. A loss humbles him a little bit, and he gets back to where he was before the titles. Yeah, you sound dubious.
I don't see it. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Is Dan Hurley the next Bobby Knight? In the sense that, Bobby Knight, again, all-time great coach. You mentioned the coaching tree, everything, but ultimately, was also kind of his own demise.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Do you see this happening with Dan Hurley? It's very interesting.
By the way, a couple guys, I'd forgotten that. Well, Chris Beard, I knew at Texas Tech, but Dusty May was also a Bobby Knight guy at Michigan. So it's the Bobby Knight tree is alive and well. That doesn't mean it works.
888-710-4ISN. We have more March Madness for you and what we saw over the weekend. Start previewing the Sweet 16 and some football news. Quarterbacks on the move. I'll tell you who next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
7 to shoot for Arkansas. Wagner working right, squeezing to the rim, and he scores on a driving layup. Arkansas by 6 with 2:10 to go in the game.
Chris Carino on the NCAA Westwood One Radio Network. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. We're giving you a highlight from Saturday because it was one of the standout games from this weekend's action, Pearl. It was the Arkansas Razorbacks, the Cinderella of this bracket, improbably, coached by John Calipari, taking out the 2 seed in the region, Rick Pitino, and the St. John's Red Storm. And this was an incredible game. It was actually a good game, but nobody could hit a shot. It was very entertaining until the very end when, again, everybody went cold. Arkansas hangs on for the win, and Rick Pitino is going home.
Yeah, I'm not doing this. John Calipari is the Cinderella darling of the. I'm just not doing it.
Well,
I'm not going there.
Get in the mood because I got nothing else for you if you want Cinderellas. And by the definition of it, they're the 10th seed. They're the highest remaining seed left in the Sweet 16.
Well, they play Texas Tech. I mean, if Texas Tech is the Final Four, that's not Cinderella-ish. Like, what is it? I don't know. It's been, you know who I like as Cinderella? How about BYU? They never make the Final Four. What if they make a run?
Yeah, it could be BYU, but again, they're a higher seed because they are a 6 seed. 6 or 8? 6.
6.
And, they're now, BYU's now, they're in the Big 12. So they're in a major conference. You can't say, oh, it's this Mountain West.
So is Arkansas. Arkansas is in the premier basketball conference, the SEC.
I know. It's a little unconventional, but this is the way the tournament fell. I mean, take it up with, I don't know. I don't even know who to take it up with.
The basketball gods. The basketball gods killed Cinderella. Somebody killed Cinderella because it's not here.
Well, maybe it's NIL transfer portal. I mean, it doesn't have to be the basketball gods. It could just be the new rules of the sport. It could be the realignment of the sport, which is following, basically just the lead of football. And in a lot of ways, basketball kind of gets swept up in it. But that's the deal. I'm not willing to say, though, just with this particular tournament, that all of a sudden we're not getting Cinderellas anymore. I just think this happens to be a very chalky year. We're only a couple years removed from San Diego State making the championship game. Like, we've had mid-majors who have done some incredible things. FAU making to the Final Four. This is just a one-off to me.
That was kind of a weird post-COVID strange state of college basketball. I wonder if you're right. You're right. the recent history does not indicate that it's going to be all major conferences, but for some reason, it just feels like this is the new trend.
Well, listen, I mean, these bigger conferences have just gotten pretty bloated. I mean, the SEC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, they eat up a lot of teams, and everything's getting consolidated.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm not willing to say that we've seen the death of Cinderella or the end of mid-majors, which I've seen a lot of chatter about that this weekend. The pearl clutching has just got to stop, guys. It's very rare that you get 4 number 1 seeds moving on like this. I think we just have to kind of chalk it up to the fact that it's chalk this year. And I don't think that it doesn't mean, or that it means, Colorado State, last night ends up losing to Maryland, Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
But they call a travel on Derek Queen from Maryland, and all of a sudden the Rams are moving on. And we're saying Cinderella's alive.
That travel was not happening.
I'm just
Stop
saying,
trying to make it happen.
Well, it was a travel, in my opinion, but that's how close we were. That's how thin the margin was between having a Cinderella in this tournament and not.
Derek Queen could have taken 2 more steps and they wouldn't have called it.
I mean, that's the problem with the referees, though.
To
be fair, have kind of been atrocious this whole tournament. But.
That would have been a very hard travel call to make in this. And first of all, they have been very lax on travel, especially at the top of the key. So regardless of that, I just feel like the McNeeses and the Drakes, they're losing too many guys. These guys, I'm watching the majors are now, it's a new year. It's 2025. Big coaches are used to using the transfer portal. I think they needed time to get it. Now they got it. And I can't imagine that these small schools are going to be able to compete.
Well, it's like there's a pattern now, right? There's a little bit of a pattern. Sure, you've got the Cooper Flags and you got the Derek Queens of guys who are these highly touted high school recruits who end up going to big colleges, and they'll be one and done and go on to the NBA. But there's another path here where guys start at these smaller conferences. They develop their skills, and then the big guns come calling, and they poach them away with NIL money.
Yeah, I mean, Duke with the star freshmen is obviously an exception, but that's not Auburn, Florida, or Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So I worry that the madness is going to go away a little bit. But then again, we say that next year there'll be an Oakland or there'll be a Fairleigh Dickinson or somebody.
Yeah, see, that's why I want to do the same thing with the football this year. So the football, you had the 12-team college football playoff, and we had so many blowouts in the first round. And it's like, oh, this is never going to work. It's never going to work. We're going to have blowouts. Like, guys, it's 1 year. Like, let's not do the sky is falling after 1 year because you had a couple blowouts. The seeding was all messed up. We can point to issues of why you may have had more blowouts, and they're going to fix it to a certain degree, but I hate the, drawing these huge conclusions off of one season, like Cinderella's dead. I hated when I heard that this weekend. I heard it from a lot of places.
Well, I think in football, I kind of disagree. I think if you go 12 teams or maybe go 14 or 16, you're definitely going to have blowouts. You don't think that there's a big, especially in a playoff atmosphere, there's a big gulf between the top 5 teams and the teams that are going to make the bottom part of that bracket?
Well, I think you will still have blowouts, but not to the extent of every single game was basically not competitive this year in the first round.
Imbalanced scheduling is a huge problem there. College football has to figure out. I mean, they could have put Alabama and Ole Miss and all those schools in there last year, and they decided not to. We'll see if they because if you have 3 losses, if you're Alabama, you're still probably better than SMU. So, but they're not going to put them in. I disagree. I think both these trends, I'm going to be totally reactionary.
Yes, sky is falling. No more Cinderellas and college football blowouts from here to eternity.
I don't know.
Way to have a perspective.
If Duke, I know. I'm in the majority. The last thing I saw is what's going to happen. But no, it doesn't feel accidental that we have this chalky field. It feels like this is the way college basketball is trending.
You're welcome to call us at 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. We are asking you today, and you can vote on X at Maggie and Pearl. Are you rooting for John Calipari? Early returns are resounding no. I'm a little surprised by that. I know that he's not like your average Cinderella, but
why would you be rooting if you're not an Arkansas fan? Or maybe a Kentucky fan. I don't know. John Calipari he's still, until he has 10 years at a smaller school, he is the favorite. Rick Pitino became the darling because he went to Greece and then Iona. Calipari went from Kentucky to Arkansas, not this little school. It's a big SEC school.
I told you guys, I was not rooting for the Rick Pitino story. I really wasn't.
He was the little engine that could. I understand that.
I didn't see it that way. How many scandals before?
Oh, come
it's just
on.
kind of unfair. And I'm not saying the Calipari's hands are clean, but I didn't find the Rick Pitino was like this real feel-good story to me, at least.
What are we going to do about these strippers?
That was a question posed in many NCAA committee meeting.
Yeah, I didn't really care about that. It's funny, if you put up the poll, who is more likable right now, Pitino or Calipari? I think Pitino still wins that. He's having these entertaining press conferences.
Let's put it up.
Yeah.
More likable right now, Pitino or Calipari? At Maggie and Pearl on X. Again, 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Do you put Dan Hurley in this, make it a three-person race? I just want to go Pitino versus Cal.
No, I mean, Dan Hurley's a guy you have to be a UConn fan to like. I can't imagine a neutral fan is like, wow, I love Dan Hurley. I don't know if anybody likes a random college basketball coach, but no.
It's like, why do we just expect these guys are going to be extremely unlikable?
Who is likable? Who's a college coach?
People love Izzo.
Izzo, right. Because he got me to the Elite Eight about 15 out of 17 years. Yeah. Izzo is likable. I personally like Bruce Pearl, but I know he's polarizing. There are likable guys, but it ain't Dan Hurley.
That's funny. Do you find college football coaches the same way? Or do you like college football? You like Sark. I know that.
Sark's awesome.
Did you like Nick Saban?
No, nobody. Yeah, nobody. You can't like Nick Saban.
You respect him.
I love the retired Nick Saban in the commercials. They're very funny. No, he was
2 flushes max. 2 flushes max when you stay at.
He goes 5 minutes.
It's not a sauna. No, he goes. This isn't a spa.
It is a very entertaining commercial.
No, I think they're likable coaches and they're unlikable coaches. No, and I don't think Nick Saban cared one way or the other, and I'm not sure Dan Hurley cares.
No, Dan Hurley definitely doesn't care. I mean, Dan Hurley's doing the thing. I think he likes being kind of polarizing. People say he's authentic. It's kind of funny though because I tend to agree, yet he's so Jekyll and Hyde. Like, that's the authenticity. Your high is high 1 minute and you're low the next. I don't know. I don't know. I don't find that I generally connect with someone like Dan Hurley, but he does have a great story. He did work his way up. You know, he's gone through some mental health issues that he's been open about. Like, we should like this guy, but sometimes he just comes across like a real jerk.
Oh, yeah. No, did you like Coach K? I have some friends who hate Coach K with a burning passion.
Really? I mean, I respect him. It's like that. I think people really like Dean Smith as far as winners who you didn't just respect, but you liked. And I think people did love Dean Smith.
What about Roy Williams? He's in between.
I think people liked Roy Williams.
Don't tell me people like Bill Self. Bill Self is not a warm, cuddly, hey, I'm rooting for Bill Self.
He doesn't show a ton of his personality, so I think that's a little harder.
Yeah, I mean,
you respect Bill Self, but he had a pretty big scandal too. Got caught up in that shoe company scandal. But
college basketball, if you're going to worry about scandal, I mean, look at what Sean Miller just got hired. I mean, listen,
no, they all come back.
You have to take it out of your evaluation here. You cannot think about scandal, about likability. It's a sport that's been corrupt forever. I mean, it's the original corrupt sport. I saw He Got Game. I know what happens on these recruiting trips.
Great movie.
Real life. 888-710-4.
Still waiting for a second movie to that one.
ISN. I don't think we're getting a sequel.
Damn it.
Although, did you see Spike Lee in Providence at the St. John's game sitting behind the bench?
Next to Aura. You're right. Amir Khan, the McNeese student manager who now is transferring to NC State.
He looked like Clifford. Did Spike Lee dressed in all that red? My goodness.
Oh, the big red dog?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting pull. 888-710-4ISN. Kevin is in San Antonio. Hey, Kev.
Hey, what's up? What's going on? 2 more weeks for the Final Four in San Antonio, Texas. And I think Calipari is well, I can say that he's a good coach.
Yeah.
But he's gonna surprise some people. Now, I'm a Houston. I used to live in Houston. I want Houston to win it all, but this is the up for grabs tournament.
And you like watching Calipari. You're rooting for him, Kevin.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because he turned that program around in Kentucky, but he lost I think last year he lost to Oakland.
Yep.
And Oakland upset Kentucky.
Yep. It was a big shocker. Hey, Kevin, a question for you. Around San Antonio, can you tell that they're getting ready for the Final Four? There's like signs up and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to give you a heads up. They are getting ready. We have a little I'm volunteering for the Final Four. They have little booths and stuff.
Okay.
And we had it last year and so forth, and I met R2D2.
R2D2?
Yes, it was a Comic-Con.
Oh, right. Well, Kevin,
I had no idea.
Thank you for checking in. Kevin sends us a picture of his breakfast every morning to maggieandperloff@gmail.com. And I appreciate that kind of like stick-to-itiveness, that kind of commitment. Kevin knows.
I did not know how
All of a sudden, the
R2D2 entered the
R2D2
conversation.
thing threw me away, but it threw me off a little bit. But no, I didn't know they had Comic-Con in San Antonio. Where's
No
EJ
idea.
when we need him? It's Mr. Comic-Con.
I loved the Final Four in San Antonio. What year was it? 18 or something? That is a perfect Final Four town.
Is this when you first had the breakfast taco that changed your life?
I'm not sure. It could have been. I've been to San Antonio a bunch of times, and because it's a small town, and the Final Four takes over, and the hotels are all right on top of each other, so you have one team next to the other team. It is ideal, and I would be driving down there to apologize to Victor Wembanyama if he was playing.
Yeah, this whole Perloff driving to San Antonio thing, like we keep getting foiled at every turn. So
I know, because of health.
Yeah, I mean, first it was, Greg Popovich went through a really serious health issue. So we're like, all right, we're not going to bother them with this silly bit that we're doing, when he's dealing with something serious. Then he recovers. We're like, all right, game on. Gas up the Acura.
For the Final Four, we were all going to go down and drive up to San Antonio.
To specifically apologize to Wembanyama because Perloff called him Wenbust-Yama. Said he wouldn't win Rookie of the Year. He won it unanimously. He's the future of the league. And then Wemby got hurt.
Yeah.
And we don't even know.
Jama?
We don't even know if he's in San Antonio. He could be in France. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's a great question.
Is he sitting on the bench?
He's got to be wherever he can get that 7'5", 7'6". I don't even know how tall he is, body healthy. But that being said, now everyone sent me notes. Oh, it looks like it could be true. He could be Wembanyama because of health. I do not rooting for that at all.
No, that's not what
we
we
need
want.
this dude to stay healthy because he's fascinating.
But at some point, we will drive to San Antonio once he's actually in that city.
Yes, I need that breakfast taco.
I'm just waiting for you to get there, and it's going to be like National Lampoon's Vacation. And it's like, sorry, park's closed. Moose outside should have told you. Like, this place is either going to be gone, closed.
This place probably closed during the pandemic.
I was saying maybe closed. Hopefully it didn't close during the pandemic. But under new management, like, there's just so many different things. Like, you get there, it's a French restaurant now. They don't do breakfast tacos.
Steak frites, finally.
Yeah, go all the way to San Antonio.
I have a feeling there's other breakfast taco options in San Antonio.
Yeah, but it's not the place.
You think there are other places
honestly,
in Texas?
Every breakfast taco in San Antonio is amazing. That place has mastered tacos.
They also have interesting baseball hats as well in Texas. So,
oh, in Spanish?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah, someone should really pass that through like a committee to make sure that you're not putting a slang term for a woman's chest.
Or to make sure you are, one way or the other.
We tried to find one of those hats. They're expensive now.
I know. The A's hat, we got it. The old A's hat that.
Well, that's the ass hat.
The ass hat.
That one is off the. Like,
Will we be allowed to
it's
even?
It's a collector's item.
Can we even place that on the set if we got a hold of one of them, or that would not be good?
Actually, it'd be a fun experiment. How long could we have it on the set before any of the bosses recognized it and said anything? Meredith's paying a pretty close attention to the show. We wouldn't be able to get it by him.
Maggie, Andrew, seems there's an ass hat on your set. Some affiliates are wondering what that's all about.
I know. Dave Meredith, he's always so calm, It's a good Meredith laugh.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was very loud and very high-pitched.
But
that's Meredith's laugh, though.
Meredith, thankfully for us, has the sense of humor of a sixth grader. So anything involving any female body part, he will die laughing. Die.
He's on board.
The other hat, I don't think I can actually say it because I'm told you can't curse
please don't.
in other languages, but it definitely got past the committee.
Once again, you guys always make the mistake of reading those official emails about what we are or not allowed to say. I just claim ignorance. Guys got a set on them.
Must be nice.
Yeah. You actually read the Spanish curse word email from corporate?
It wasn't even an email. It was a whole video that I had to watch. And technically, you had to watch it too.
Uh-oh.
It's like 23 minutes long.
It's so long. And the quiz at the end is not exactly a brain buster, but you got to watch the whole corporate video, and then you've got to answer the...
And you got to ace it, too.
You do have to ace it.
Well, I have to go through the entire 23-minute video again.
I like to challenge myself, see if I can finish the quiz without having really paid attention to the video.
That's that Dartmouth in him.
Let me guess. You're nailing them.
They're pretty easy.
Yeah.
Should you go up to Teresa for the 8th time and ask her out in the coffee room? Yes or no?
Yes.
See, that's why Manny has to watch the video.
This is why Manny's stuck in middle management.
I haven't been paid in 4 weeks. I wonder why. I Frenched that thing like I was in Paris. That's right.
Oh, those videos are the worst.
Painful. 888-710-4ISN. And that's not just us. Every person in America, if you work for a corporation, has to watch these things now. 888-710-4476. Our pal Greg Giannotti over WFAN.
I'm familiar. Yeah.
Always had a great line that they all start like porn.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Jackie.
Yeah.
Bow, chicken, bow, bow.
Big plans this weekend? It's like, where's this going?
That line, big plans this weekend, comes up in every single one of those videos.
Yeah, don't ask what Jackie's doing over the weekend. You're going to get dragged into HR. Just give her a nod and keep it moving. 888-710-44-ISN. Asking you today, John Calipari versus Rick Pitino, who's more likable? And are you rooting for John Calipari?
When the boss is like, well, you're a woman, so your idea is inferior. Like, is that good or bad? I don't know. How do you bag you're a woman? Do you like when your boss says that?
No, nobody would ever say that.
In the videos, they always say something to that effect.
Not to my face. 888-710-4ISN. So much left to do, including, guys, lots of football news from over the weekend. We get the latest to you in just moments.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Okay, it's not on the rundown, and I didn't mention it yet because I want to surprise you with something.
Oh, boy.
Are you aware of the social media controversy that went down this weekend?
With you?
Nope, with you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a social media controversy?
Can I read some comments on a tweet?
Oh, I don't read any of the comments. Wait, what did I do?
Just wait.
Maggie Gray is an idiot. Here's one.
Oh, no. Pretty standard.
She is one stupid SOB. 15 or to 20 people asked if you are on crack.
Wait, what did I possibly say on social media that got
You can't remember this?
She's she's lost her mind. LMF, a lot of oh my God. There's so many hateful tweets and
she has big feet.
Yeah. I feel a little
That's
bad.
just the truth.
Sasquatch.
I feel here's what I don't get. I hope this isn't dirt. Who is Maggie Gray anyway? She clearly is about as bright as a dead flashlight. I don't
Wait a minute.
Damn.
I didn't know any of this was going on. I'm getting killed on
Social media is such a nice place.
You're getting killed. Honestly, are you just clear up one thing?
I'm not aware of this at all. You are bringing this to my attention.
No, are you on crack was my question.
Oh, no, I'm not on crack.
She
Currently,
is not on
never
crack.
been.
The tweet that started this firestorm is from Steelers Depot. At Steelers Depot, a popular and very good Pittsburgh Steelers news aggregator. And it says, Maggie Gray thinks Mike Tomlin has earned a lifetime contract.
Oh, that's what that is. That's wrong. You said that
I don't know what you're talking about.
You said that he gets the lifetime contract.
The tweet says Maggie Gray thinks Mike Tomlin has earned a lifetime contract.
Are you kidding?
It's from Steelers Depot, and it's a murder scene in the comments.
Wait a minute. You said that.
I don't know what you're talking about. That footage mysteriously disappeared.
Wait a second. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Maggie, I remember I sitting outside going, why is she going to bat for Tomlin like this?
Yeah, no, it's
Bogusch,
crazy.
you
A
guys are
lifetime
making
contract?
this worse. What are
I
you
mean,
guys
he hasn't
talking
won a
about?
Super Bowl in years. What are you
Have
thinking,
you been
Mag?
watching?
Here's my tweet. Has Mike Tomlin earned a lifetime contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Perloff says yes, I say no.
Don't know what you're talking about, Mag.
That is not how it went on the show. You can tweet all you want.
Wait, whose mistake is
That
this?
sounds like a edited tweet because the original was Maggie Gray saying, I remember you said it. Mike Tomlin has earned a lifetime contract.
Never
I don't
fire
care what you
him.
say, Perloff.
What? I'm gonna get in touch with Steelers Depot and I'm gonna demand an apology.
Why? This is good for the show. All
No.
publicity is bad publicity.
They're calling me Mag
I'm good at
Light and
publicity.
I've got some dim bulb or whatever.
Yeah. No, they really, I mean, to be
And
fair.
the crack. Don't
Most
forget the
people
crack.
think it's the
Yeah, the
crack talking.
crack.
Most people think it's the crack talking, not you.
The crack talking.
So there's some sympathy.
Hold on.
Tweet a lot from this page. I haven't even been able to find out the tweet yet.
Go to at Steelers Depot or just Google at Steelers Depot Maggie
I'm gonna
Gray.
be like, who's on crack? Do you guys have crack shoved in your ears? Come on, Steelers Depot. You're better than that. Are you? I don't know. I've never
Whatever.
heard of you.
Steeler dog says you're high as a kite.
You got to stomp right over to that depot, Maggie.
Listen,
and-
I may have been high. If I was high as a kite, I'd still say Mike Tomlin does not deserve a lifetime contract.
So you cannot contact them. Do not contact them because
Oh,
then
I'm
they're going to go.
contacting
No.
them.
Then they're going to go after me because I'm the one with the bad take. I should have never said anything. I'm like, well, if I say something, Maggie is going to make a big deal out of this and call Steelers Depot, and then everyone's going to come after me, and I don't want that.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
No. It's happened. It's
You
ancient
said
history.
it. You've got to own it. I'm not being the
apparently
human
not.
meat shield for your terrible takes.
No, but Maggie, as you know, you can't put the crack back in the vial. It's already been spilled.
It's already been spoken.
Yeah.
Here's
on.
what Edison said. Did Maggie Gray ever play football? Question mark. I don't think so.
Listen, I got old football. You don't remember when I lined up playing with the Cleveland Browns? Wait a minute. I'm not even finding this. Hold on. You're messing with me. You're making these things up.
I found the tweet.
By the way, how many tweets? These aggregators are working hard.
Yeah, that dude tweets for a living. My goodness.
Well, he's moving fast. So,
Well, I mean, it was a big weekend for the Steelers, but still.
yeah, here it is.
Maggie Gray.
Maggie Gray thinks Mike Tomlin has earned a lifetime contract.
You guys got bleep in your ears? It's Perloff. And by the way, Perloff, I asked you multiple times in that segment, are you sure this is what you want to say? And you're like, yep.
No, I didn't say.
Lifetime
By the way,
contract.
just so we're clear, I didn't think he deserves a lifetime contract.
You
I
think he has?
Yeah, it's Pittsburgh. You think the Roonies are going to pull Mike Tomlin into an office and fire him?
He's doubling down, and somehow this is going to come back to Maggie Gray saying,
Yeah, that
She
I'm
doubled
on
down.
crack.
But even
Steelers fans on crack.
It's a mischaracterization to say he's earned a lifetime contract. He has a lifetime contract.
All right. Well, we can go to the tape on all of
You
this.
hear that, Steelers Depot? That's at Maggie Gray saying that he deserves the lifetime contract, doubling down.
Manny, you're making it worse. I still haven't found the tweet, by the way. How far back do I have to go here?
You're going to have to do the search bar because this dude tweets like it's his day job.
Well, it probably is.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Just Google Maggie Gray at Steelers Depot.
Gosh.
/
Well,
crack.
backslash vile.
Can you just make a statement to the camera that you are not high right now?
No.
Because I don't think people. By the
And
way,
you do the alphabet backwards.
Steelers fans really want Mike Tomlin gone. That's something I learned. And it was like,
I'm with
whoa.
I'm one of them. You know, I've been saying I thought Mike Tomlin's seat was hotter than we originally thought because of the Najee Harris comment. This is how this whole thing started. And now I'm the one who's getting blamed for saying he earned a lifetime contract or he has a lifetime contract when it was Perloff's take, not mine. I still can't find this thing. No, I was blissfully unaware that this was happening all weekend long.
A lot of people did say what I said, though. It was like, there's no reason to argue. He definitely has a lifetime contract. It does seem that way.
I can't. Okay, I'm going to have to just search.
Oh
my gosh. Steelers Depot, be better.
You still have not found it?
No.
Do you want me to just email it to you?
Not really. I'll find it. Am I on crack?
It's the background of his phone. I can just show you that real quick.
Maggie Gray from the Maggie. I found it. And they literally have the embedded audio.
Yes, the embedded audio and video that we tweeted out is with the tweet.
Are you
the
who's
same
on
one?
crack?
The same one that says Perloff is very clearly saying Mike Tomlin has the lifetime contract.
Reading's hard.
And
Whatever.
apparently
I'm
comprehension as well.
I'm not the one on crack, so don't even look at me.
That's right, yeah.
I have not partaken on any crack this morning. or in the last couple weeks?
In fiscal 2025, I'm
I'm bummed. I'm bummed that I'm getting unfairly painted amongst Steeler fans.
Beside yourself, even.
What's that?
Beside yourself.
Stop being bummed.
I'm going to
Come
need
on.
some crack to come down from this.
Get out of here. Everyone likes to be part of a Twitter controversy. It's super fun. Who cares? You were in the best position possible. You had the right take, according to this internet. You can't possibly be bummed about this.
I had the right I can't believe it.
Wait, so are you banned now from Heinz Field, or are you a VIP guest?
Just
How does this
wait.
work?
I'm sure that's coming.
Or what's it called now? Acrosure, Manny?
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
By the way, it'd be nice if people used nicer language when they're killing Maggie on Twitter here. Some of these I can't read.
Yeah, some FCC-friendly bad words.
When you're
at
going to
people.
go after Maggie's or my bad takes that are ascribed to Maggie,
Bogusch.
please use some language we can use on air. It'd be more fun. We've lost Maggie, by the way. Now she's reading her own comments.
She's not reading comments. I'm looking at the video of you where I say, you think he's got a lifetime contract? It's been a disaster.
A disaster?
The quarterback situation.
Yeah, no duh. Russell Wilson was their quarterback last year, and they're waiting on AaronRodgers right now.
I got to tweet something
Drop
at
the
them.
crack pipe, Maggie.
Foaming at the mouth. Do I write back something snarky?
You should wait till Rodgers signs and say, "Is Tomlin on something about Tomlin?" and then at them.
And at them.
I have a simple reply to whatever you write. Crack is whack. Just say no.
All right. Let's get to Bogusch with headlines. Well, I think of a witty comeback for Steelers Depot, who is completely mischaracterizing what I said. And I'm getting killed for it.
I think Manny should get him on the phone this morning before the show is done.
I'm not giving them any oxygen. Well, I am, but not like that. He reminds me of someone who would drink a lot of milk. Can't.
Jugs.
No, they got it all wrong.
I like this feed. Steelers blog dedicated Steelers news. Not real media. Never played QB in the NFL. So he's honest about his shortcomings here.
Someone just asked if I ever played in the NFL. You're going to be really disappointed in my football career.
I was previewing this segment with Bogusch out in the hall. That went as well as expected,
Perfectly.
Right?
I'm out of my mind.
I knew. I knew you would be sensitive to that. I mean, if you're sensitive to that, you didn't even say it. What do you care?
Well, here's the part about it that makes me most upset about it, actually. Not that I got misquoted, anything. It's your take, and I'm getting the brunt of it.
Yes.
That's the best part.
If it was
It's
just
amazing.
and you're sitting there innocent in this whole thing, it was your thing.
Yeah, but you had the popular, well, actually, there are a lot of people who defend it, but you had the popular take. You should feel excited about this.
No.
Why? What
People
do you
are calling me
care?
a crackhead.
Yeah.
Yes, so what? This is the internet. I get called a crackhead 15 times a day. In fact, it's a bad day if no one's calling me a crackhead.
Actually, if we're talking about words that start with a C, I'll take crackhead over some of the other stuff I get called. Meanwhile, Bogusch is here with the latest while I write back to Steelers Depot, you hacks.
Well, in your defense, when you said Noah Lyles wasn't that fast, you sat in that backlash because it came from you. So I see the difference here.
When I said Noah Lyles can't be parading around like the fastest man on the planet when you win by one thousandth of a second, that one got me in a lot of trouble.
But
I stood by it.
Right.
Though. I did say it.
Yeah,
I did not say this.
Right. This is different. This is crack related.
You know what? By the way, my new Twitter trend is emotionally hedging my bets or my picks. I basically said UConn has just beaten Florida at halftime because I was so frustrated that Florida was going to ruin my bracket.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever do that where you tweet something out of emotion just so the opposite will happen?
I mean, I was in the middle of that game going, all right, my bracket's dead if Florida wins, if Florida loses, but I'll take a UConn upset.
Really?
Yeah.
I was rooting hard for Florida.
For your bracket?
For my bracket. Yeah, with no... You were rooting against your own bracket?
I mean, at some point, it felt like UConn was going to win. So I kind of resigned myself to the upset's cooler than my bracket.
I like it.
What place are you in right now?
Oh, last. Of the group, yes. Of the group, yeah. Okay. But too close to last overall for my liking.
Wow.
But the three of us are basically like within the same 20 positions, but we have almost identical scores and max picks points left. Kaplan and Manny are the runaway
Kaplan's
leaders.
tied for first.
Not anymore.
Oh, sorry.
But like even top 10, and Manny's in the top 20.
Has anyone here lost a Final Four team?
I have not.
I did.
I've lost 2 of them.
Yet somehow you're ranked higher than most of us.
I mean, yeah, but by the time we get to next week, I'll probably, get slotted down to 100th or whatever.
But you lost a Final Four team that's losing the first match in the Final Four, right?
I did. I
Yeah,
lost
you're
St.
fine.
John's. But
All right,
I
Maggie,
got
you have
St. John's and Gonzaga, I just had them in the Final Four and have them in the national championship.
Maggie, you have a funny one, but you have Michigan State winning it all. And I got to tell you, you must have been nervous yesterday. That did not look good.
No, I mean, they end up winning kind of comfortably, but no, I did not feel good about that.
Yeah, they were down at double digits.
I told
for
you
a
guys,
chunk.
Jace Richardson, he's the man.
And speaking of Michigan State, that's where we begin because they have been here before, to say the least. Sweet 16.
Nicely done.
Number 16 under Tom Izzo after sending New Mexico home last night, 71-63.
That's a talented, well-coached team, and I'm just happy we got the win. I'm happy we showed a little character after we got down and weren't playing very well.
Jaden Akins led Sparty with 16 points. Up next is Ole Miss, who has gotten this far for just the second time in program history. The Rebs handling Iowa State last night, 91-78. Arizona rallied from an immediate 19-4 hole to beat Oregon 87-83. Caleb Love posting 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. The former North Carolina guard now gets to play Duke again Thursday in Newark, New Jersey.
Knipple on the hunt, zip it left, Proctor shot fake, step aside, 3 in the air again. Oh my goodness gracious! He knocked another one down. Tyrese Proctor cannot miss, 79-56. Duke the lead, 4:40 to go.
Jason Benetti on the Westwood One NCAA radio network. Tyrese Proctor, 25 points on 7 threes in an 89-66 dismantling of Baylor. Duke looking as good as anybody, 64% shooting, 12 threes, only 6 turnovers in this win. Alabama dumps St. Mary's 80-66. Grant Nelson, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 2 helpers. And Maryland's Derek Queen gave us the first buzzer beater of the tourney, banking in a runner from the left side of the lane to steal a 72-71 win from Colorado State. There were pro hoops yesterday as well. The Thunder held off the Clippers in L.A., 103-101 for a 6-game winning streak. The Rockets' 9-game run ending with a 116-111 loss to the Nuggets. Denver said yesterday Nikola Jokic will return from his left ankle injury at some point during their 5-game homestand that begins tonight against the Bulls. He's not expected to play that one, so that would be 5 games missed because of this injury. The LA Kings still rolling. Winners of 3 straight, 8-9, 7-2 over the Bruins last night. But Vegas beat Tampa Bay 4-2, so the Golden Knights still lead the Pacific Division by 5 points. We also had some college hockey.
Puck goes off a body, then corralled here by Murphy. In her own end, poised pass out to center for Eden. Sweeping down the wall. Here comes Eden. Looking, fired, save made, rebound, scores! Sims wins the national championship in overtime.
That's Jason Ross on ESPN. Kirsten Sims scoring just 2:49 into OT to get Wisconsin a 4-3 win over Ohio State in Minneapolis. This was the 3rd straight year for these two schools in the title game. The Badgers have now won twice. Perloff, back to you.
Perloff.
Maggie's typing furiously.
I'm just like, what do I write back? Guys, I never said that. Like, how snarky do I want to get with Steelers Depot? Completely misquoted me, and I've been getting called a crackhead all weekend.
Oh, my God.
Are you DMing them or quote tweeting?
I got to do this publicly.
Yeah.
You know.
Dan Patrick used to talk about Rod Dibble would be on his show.
Yeah.
And he'd get so mad at one bad email that he'd lose him for 3 hours. Don't you get hate mail every day? I get so much.
But
I can't even believe this is nothing.
No, this one makes me particularly incensed because they embedded the video, and the headline is I said the exact opposite of what I said, and you actually said it. So I'm taking the bullet for you with the embedded video.
It's not taking
You didn't even know you took the bullet.
What?
You didn't even know you took the bullet.
Until this morning, because I have all the filters up.
Have you not watched the way our industry works? This is.
I expected more from Steelers Depot.
No, I'm just saying, like, take a bullet. Like, this is a claim to fame. The bigger and bolder your bad takes are, the better off you do.
It's your bad take.
I know. I deserve the credit for this one. Yeah.
I'm like, how much do I throw Perloff under the bus, though?
For me, it's just going to be water. I mean, that's like a raindrop into the Mississippi River of calling me a crack addict on Twitter.
It'd be great, by the way, if they switched it to that you said it. And all the reaction was, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I get it. He's 100% right on this one.
Yeah.
How did this stumble across your timeline, by the way?
Did they tag you?
It hit my algorithm. I was just going through because, anything that mentions Maggie or the show or has our video tends to hit my algorithm more. So I saw Steelers Depot, and I think I go to Steelers Depot a lot. Good aggregator. They're not bad, by the way. They just made a mistake.
They're horrible aggregators.
They just made a mistake.
No, but a big one, and I've been called a crackhead.
I'll relax. You're just people think you partake in crack. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt your reputation or anything.
It helps your reputation. This is sports media.
And now you're street tough, too.
Because my years playing with the Denver Broncos?
Yeah,
your crack addiction.
You got street cred.
All right. I'm a comeback story.
Hi, this is Maggie Gray, mom, crack addict and sports host. You should take NyQuil. Is that a commercial?
Hey, no, it's children's nasal spray,
that's what
and
it
I
is.
love them. I use it. 888-710-4ISN.
Wife, mother, and crack addict.
Hey, don't mess with my nasal spray money. 888-710-4476. I love those people. Use the product, and you should too. Okay, coming back, we've got some football to get to, and I have to write back to these awful aggregators. It's M&P.
Who was on crack?
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie Perloff Show. Talking March Madness. Talking a little football as well. We'll get back to that in just 1 second. But first, James is in LA. We're asking the question, are you rooting for Coach John Calipari? Is he the Cinderella of the tournament with Arkansas as the highest seed, the 10 seed, and they are into the Sweet 16? What's up, James?
Hey, how's it going, fellas? And ladies, too? Got to throw that in there.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, you know what? I go back to with Calipari when he was at UMass with Marcus Camby and Lou Rowe. I've always had an aficionado there. But I think a lot of us, I'm a Vegas guy. So a lot of us in Vegas, if you cover the spread, then you become our favorite coach. Bobby Bowden, for when he was alive, used to love to cover the spread. Joe Pa too. So I think that those, that kind of goes to see what you like and what you favor in there.
James,
so
I love that you're what do the kids say? Way to keep it 100, way to keep it a buck. This is the people that you really love are the people who cover the spread. Thank you for that. And by the way, just James Franklin has kept that going at Penn State. Dean is in Maryland. Dean, you got to be excited about your Terps.
Yes, the Dirty Terps, the Crab Five. I mean, we're in the Sweet 16, and the reason why I called, I just wanted to get your take on, what our chances are of beating Florida. UConn as an almost double-digit dog and winning 13. No one really gave them a chance. And, besides that kid hitting 2 threes in a row, I think Florida would have been bounced.
Yep.
And essentially the Terps yesterday played their worst game in about 20 games. And, if Rice gets hot with the 2 bigs inside, I think if they beat Florida, they got a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Florida looked bad. I would say they were sloppy. They looked like the less hustle than UConn. They didn't look like inspired to be there at all. I don't think Florida lasts.
Here's the other part where I'll give Maryland Terrapins a little bit of I don't say an edge because Florida has been a good team. But, Dean, your team has played how many close games? I mean, if they get stuck in a dogfight with Florida, I actually think Maryland is the team that I might trust. Obviously they were playing it a lot yesterday, and we've been following them all year. But all the buzzer beaters that they've lost on, their last 4 losses heading into the tournament, all on buzzer beaters. They went through it. I mean, the Michigan State one is just insane. It's like a half-court shot. But the fact that you got your revenge, you win on the buzzer beater yesterday against Colorado State, just fantastic. I love when Maryland's good. I think it's so much fun for college hoops. It's one of those teams to me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you got to look at that bracket and think Calipari's got a chance because Florida did not look great. Obviously, they don't have a ton of NBA talent. Maryland's got more. Maryland doesn't look great. They should have lost to Colorado State. And then you got Arkansas and Texas Tech. I mean, we could have Cal in the Final Four. That's the way I see it, Dean.
Well, I don't disagree. I love the show. Hey, Maggie, you did have me worried there last week, making the comment about being stuck in space for 8 months.
Yeah.
I hope your husband has nothing to worry about with you maybe getting attracted to Perloff.
Oh my gosh, Perloff and I in space together, that would be crazy. That'd be a disaster.
It's actually kind of not that dissimilar to what goes on now.
We spend a lot of time
We
together.
probably have Manny up there, too.
But one of us would be floating away like George Clooney in Interstellar. I can tell you that.
Dean, you're worried about that? I thought you were going to say you were worried when she said that Mike Tomlin should get a lifetime pass in Pittsburgh. Do you remember that, Dean?
No, I don't. But hey, oh my God, I'll leave you with this, and you'll remember this because Maggie could not believe it. I'm the teacher from Maryland.
Yep.
If you were stuck up there 8 months, and God forbid you conceived a child, would you name it T9C?
I remember this, Dean. You're the teacher in Maryland who called up with the crazy names for some of your students.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yes. So, hey, you all have a blessed day. I enjoy the show, and let's go Terps, Crab 5.
There you go, Dean. I'm pulling for you. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, Dean I think he's a phys ed teacher in an elementary school or middle school, and he's got some crazy names of kids like who are just
Kringle McCringleberry.
kind of, but more unique, like 2.0s and weird numbers and letters together, like computer code. He had a real wide array of unique names. But, yeah, that was the story last week about the two scientists who went up to space. They were only supposed to be there for 8 days and got stuck up there for 8 months. And we're like, are they ever going to speak to each other again, I think was the question.
Yeah, I mean, I think all astronauts have a different calculus about relationships. It's not easy.
No, but they're like forever linked with this crazy thing. But I'm sure that at this point they probably can't stand each other, or they're in love. It's only one of two ways. Okay, coming up next, the Maggie and Perloff movie sequel bracket. We'll get back to it.
Don't they?
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining.
Yo, still a Steelers depot, y'all messed up bad. Took the wrong quote, now the whole squad's mad. Drag Maggie's name through the dirt so quick. When it was Perloff talking all that spit. Now Steelers Nation's got torches lit, thinking Maggie's lost her wit. But y'all don't fact check for a bit. So let's talk about who's really full of Steelers depot, get your facts in check. Blame the wrong one, man, show some respect. Perloff said it, but Maggie gets wrecked. Now your credibility's looking suspect. Lifetime contract, yeah, Perloff's take. But Depot's rushing just to make clickbait. Didn't even bother to hit replay. Now Maggie's out here fighting the hate. And where's Bilotti? Oh, still MIA. Call it a job, but he don't stay. Skip more shifts than Depot skips facts. Maybe he and Truth got a secret pact. Steelers Depot, get your facts in check. Blame the wrong one, man, show some respect. Perloff said it, but Maggie gets wrecked. Now your credibility's looking suspect. So next time y'all wanna twist a take, try listening before you make that mistake. Depot disaster, that's your name. And Bilotti still ghosts the game. Yo, still a Steelers Depot, y'all messed up bad.
2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining.
The wrong quote, now the whole squad's mad. Kill still a depot, y'all messed up bad. Took the wrong quote, now the whole squad's mad. Drag Maggie's name through the dirt so quick when it was Perloff talking all that spit. Now Steelers Nation's got torches lit, thinking Maggie's lost her wit. But y'all don't fact check for a bit, so let's talk about who's really full of Steelers Depot, get your facts in check. Blame the wrong one, man, show some respect. Perloff said it, but Maggie gets wrecked. Now your credibility's looking suspect. Lifetime contract, yeah, Perloff's take. The Depot's rushing just to make clickbait. Didn't even bother to hit replay. Now Maggie's out here fighting the hate. Now Twitter's wild like she's on crack. Just cause Depot ain't watched the track. Y'all spread a lie, now it won't go back. Hope y'all enjoyed that cloud contract. When somebody
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Gillespie looking to throw it in. Gets it up top to Queen. Dribbling left. Big step down the lane. Runner for the win. Banked it in! He banked it in! He banked it in! And Maryland has won! Maryland is going to the Sweet 16!
Westwood One NCAA Radio Network with the call. Finally, Pro, we get a buzzer beater in this tournament, and we had actually kind of back-to-back buzzer beater shots, one to beat the shot clock, the other one to beat the game clock. Colorado State, oh so close to being this year's Cinderella, but it's Maryland that moves on, and Derek Queen is certainly someone you're going to be watching in the NBA next year.
I mean, obviously, throw out the record books when these two programs get together. The long, dark history of Colorado State, Maryland. I'll take it. You know what? I thought actually there've been other exciting games. To say there have been no other buzzer beaters is true, but I thought that Arkansas St. John's was exciting. I thought UConn Florida was crazy. That could have been a buzzer beater just as easily as it wasn't. So there've been a lot of good games. The problem is the lack of Cinderellas. It's killing my bracket. I thought I was going to be clever this year, advance some 12 seeds. Mistake.
Yeah, big mistake. All 4 1 seeds still alive. It's just been a little bit more of a chalky tournament. And I'm not going to say, oh, this is college basketball today, and because NIL and the transfer portal, we're never going to get another Cinderella. I'm not going to say that. This just happens to be this year. And to be fair, most of the experts did predict that it was going to be a chalky bracket. I just don't think that we can say, oh, we're kissing Cinderellas goodbye. And weirdly for this tournament, the unlikely Cinderella is now John Calipari in the Arkansas Razorbacks, which is weird to say about a guy who's won a national title and been to 6 Final Fours, that he's somehow the darling of the tournament. But they're the 10th seed, even though they're out of the SEC, which has 7 teams out of the Sweet 16 who are left, which is a record. But still, I think that if the slipper's going to fit, it's John Calipari's foot that gets the closest to it.
I sort of reject this because they beat a St. John's team who's actually much more of a Cinderella in a sense. Like St. John's, when's the last time St. John's has won a tournament game before this year? They're out of nowhere. They faced, Texas Tech that no one was talking about. This whole bracket is filled with teams that are really out of nowhere. So it just feels wrong to me. It feels wrong to call Arkansas and John Calipari a Cinderella because tell me about their recruiting classes compared to others. I know there have been injuries, but it still doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, this is Hardly Davidson or whatever.
No, I get that. It's not traditional, but in a bracket where you're looking and searching for Cinderellas, I mean, it's
that's kind of it. And this is. Listen, I still have really high hopes for this tournament. I think it has been good so far.
Yeah.
It hasn't been an all-timer, but I think it has been good. A couple too many blowouts for my liking, but it has been good, and I think we're only going to get better from here on out because this is all heavy hitters.
I mean, I think this tournament, if we're talking ratings or popularity, it needs one thing. It needs Duke in the final game.
Well, it's trending that way because they're blowing teams out.
Well, not exactly. I mean, because they're blowing teams out, but they played 2 games and one against Baylor, who nobody was talking about. So I just think that this is more dependent on Duke because we don't really have superstars in college basketball anymore, right? They're all gone in the NBA. So Duke is the one brand. They're the Caitlin Clark of this tournament to me because they have Cooper Flag. I think if they don't advance, then I think interest will drop off. I'm being serious. I think if you have even Auburn, Houston, they've been top teams all season long. I don't think it gets the shine that Duke would.
Well, I mean, that's kind of – I'm going to disagree with you. I mean, Kentucky is still in this tournament. They're going to play Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, but do you think the average casual fan knows anybody on Kentucky right now?
No, but if we're talking about brands, I mean, I know you're talking about Cooper Flag, but ultimately Duke is a brand, right?
It's the only brand left in college basketball. There's no other brand. Kentucky's not in the same conversation.
I still think that Kentucky matters. I mean, the Big Blue Nation, I think, is right there. And I think you get a lot of intrigue. I know this is going to be odd to say it, but I think Michigan brings in a lot of people. I know it's obviously more of a football school
this
now.
This Michigan team?
I think people are into that. We're talking about brands here. We're talking about huge college sports and athletic brands. And I think that a lot of these teams fit the bill.
I don't at all. I don't think
this is a Duke or nothing. No way.
Really? You think that any of these teams are even in the same conversation with Duke as far as eyeballs and attention? I understand what you're saying, but definitely not Michigan. Maybe Kentucky because of the history. But I think it's a new Kentucky era. It feels like Kentucky is not the John Calipari Kentucky. So even them, I wouldn't put in this category. Yeah, I don't see it.
I mean, Michigan State, this is 30 years of Tom Izzo being relevant. I don't know. I'm into this. I'm into these matchups. I'll put it that way. Yes, it's a lot of heavy hitters. There's no St. Peter's. There's no Fairleigh Dickinson, all that stuff. But I do like this. I do.
If you had a Michigan State-Houston final game compared to Duke versus anybody, we're talking night and day.
Well,
10 times the interest.
So here's the thing, though. Duke's got that very unique thing where you love them and love to hate them.
Yeah, they're the Yankees. They're Notre Dame football. Right. But they're so singular in this sport these days. Not just this year. I think the last maybe 10 years, they've been the only real brand that matters. Because Kentucky's not the same.
What about North Carolina?
North Carolina's B, but even then, they don't really, I don't know, they don't move the needle like Duke to me.
That's interesting. Manny, can we put that up as a poll question? Is Duke the only brand that matters in college basketball?
Well, I'm sure that'll go over well.
Well,
but yeah.
And for the aggregators, that's Andrew Perloff who said that, not me. Had an issue with that this morning. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Is Duke the only college basketball brand that matters?
I guess North. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, obviously, do you think Kansas is in this conversation? They were successful.
Well, they're out, though. They lost in the first round.
I'd like to see.
To be honest, they were kind of nothing this whole year. Up and down.
I mean, that's the thing. Have we really been talking about any of these teams other than Duke this year? You look at the way ESPN puts teams on primetime. Obviously, it's Duke, and more Duke.
Well, but that's one television network. I mean, I think that we're all savvy enough as college basketball fans that we know that these are the heavy hitters. You know, everyone knows about the history of Kentucky. Whether you like them or not, Purdue is a team we talk about this time of year. They were in the national championship game literally last season. You know, Houston has been knocking on the door. Bama's kind of I would say a little bit more of a newcomer with Nate Oates, kind of doing this revolution, but they were a Final Four team. I mean, this is high level stuff. Arizona, you're telling me they don't have history, cachet?
I mean, I know people don't like when you talk about ratings, but say you had Arizona and a random team in the final game. I think that gets 8 million viewers. I think if you have Duke, you get 15 million viewers. I think that's what we're talking about. I think almost a double jump.
Wow. Again, 888-710-4ISN. If you want to call the show, while we have the actual bracket, which is very important, we've been talking about it all morning, almost equally as important, the Maggie and Perloff movie sequels bracket. And lo and behold, here we are, Gotham City region, Pearl. We go back to the beginning.
And we are going to give you a brand new set of matchups that you can vote on at Maggie and Pearl on X. Okay, so the number 1 overall seed in this region, and the number 1 overall seed in the tournament, in fact, is the Dark Knight.
Give me one reason why I shouldn't have my boy here pull your head off.
How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. It's gone. And by the way, the suit, it wasn't cheap. You ought to know, you bought it.
Shit. I want to hear proposition.
So Andrew Kaplan picked these today. EJ's out today. That one just made like the hair on my neck stand up. Okay, the Dark Knight up against the 9 seed Toy Story 2.
Buzz, you could have defeated Zurg all along. You just need to believe in yourself.
Prepare to die.
I can't look. I did it. I finally defeated Zurg.
Okay, the 5-4 matchup in this Gotham City region of the Maggie and Perloff sequels bracket. The 5th seed is Kill Bill Volume 2.
Clark Kent is how Superman views us. And what are the characteristics of Clark Kent? He's weak. He's unsure of himself. He's a coward. Clark Kent is Superman's critique on the whole human race.
Wait, that's Superman 2?
No, this is Kill Bill Volume 2.
Clark Kent.
Welcome to the show.
I thought they were talking about Clark Kent. Yeah,
was. That's Bill. Talking about that to Uma Thurman.
I don't remember that at all. I remember the sword fight.
The 5th seed in this region is going up against the 4th seed. It's a little 4-5 matchup, and that would be Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Wiped your clearance from the system?
I know you erased my password. Probably deleted my retinal scan. But if you want to stay ahead of me, Mr. Secretary, you need to keep both eyes open.
Okay, the 6th seed in this region, the Maggie and Perloff movie sequels bracket, is Superman 2.
Excuse me, sir. I think you're sitting in my favorite seat.
Well, come and get it for us.
I'm terribly sorry about all the damage, sir. Well, I've been working out.
Okay, the 6th seed Superman 2 faces off against the 3 seed in this region of the Maggie and Perloff movie sequel bracket. It's Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom.
What? You're not eating?
I had bugs for lunch. Give me your hat. Why? Because I'm going to puke in it.
Chilled monkey brain.
Such a good movie. And finally, the 7th seed in this region, John Wick 2.
What's the number up to now, Earl? $7 million. Damn! It's Christmas. We're going to Applebee's after this.
And John Wick 2 squares off against the 2nd seed in this Gotham City region of the Maggie and Perloff movie sequels bracket. It's Jurassic Park 2.
This is magnificent.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
All right, there you go. We're into the next phase.
Anytime you get a Jeff Goldblum quote into the show, it's a good time. John Wick 2 is a dangerous lower seed in this.
I know, a 7 seed, John Wick 2, Maggie and Perloff movie sequels bracket. I think it's going to, if I were to guess, I think Jurassic Park 2 is going to be toast. And a John Wick 2 versus either Superman 2 or Temple of Doom is really going to be something.
Who's Temple of Doom going up against here?
Superman 2.
Yeah. Temple of Doom, by the way, I don't agree. It's a great movie.
Really?
Definitely a big drop off from Raiders. Big drop off.
You know, it's funny. I have an unpopular take about the Indiana Jones franchise, which is I like Last Crusade the best. The one with Sean Connery.
When you say the best, you mean you're not counting. You like it better than Raiders of the Lost Ark, the original one where Harrison Ford's running from the giant ball?
No, I get that. But if I had like all of the whole box set in front of me and they're like, all right, you have the next 2.5 hours of your life free. Which Indiana Jones movie do you want to watch? I'm going with Last Crusade.
You're insane.
I think Ryan.
That's a good take.
Thank you.
I enjoy it.
You're crazy. You like it better than Raiders of the Lost Ark, one of the top 50 films of all time.
Sean Connery's golden.
He is really good.
Oh, Brian, why are you encouraging her on these sequels?
Because it's good. It's technically the sequel, if you want to go back, because Temple of Doom's a prequel. So the Last Crusade is technically a sequel, too.
Oh, interesting. Wait, is Temple of Doom a prequel?
It's a prequel to Raiders.
Did we mess that up?
That's not right.
It's the second movie that came out.
Yes.
So it's a sequel.
That's
but
what we did.
Story-wise, it's
Temple
a prequel.
of Doom is a prequel? You sure? Double
It's a
check.
prequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Lots of conviction out of my buddy Ryan over here.
Ryan's talking real authoritarian.
He's talking in caps.
He is talking.
He's talking in all
caps.
capital letters.
My father loves these. So it's like I can't mess that up.
It's funny. Ryan's one of the only young people around here who kind of like has the taste of an older person. Like Manny, like found ABBA the other day. He's like, "What is this magical
You ever heard of ABBA,
band?"
Ryan?
Yes, Mamma Mia, the whole movie.
But also, Ryan's like heard of Led Zeppelin. He's wearing an Iron Maiden shirt, you know. But you're like 22. You have this younger or this older kind of like I don't know.
He's an
pop
old
culture
soul.
reference.
He's an old soul.
That's not a good thing to do. Have an old soul.
Yeah, no, it's not. You're a little weird.
Manny, meanwhile, doesn't know any history before 2000.
Yeah, because I'm hip and cool.
He's like Led Zeppelin. He's like, come again.
My God,
Who's that
Ryan
now?
Butcher is right about this. It takes place in 1935.
Uh-oh.
And the second movie was during World War II.
Uh-oh.
Wow. Amazing. Awesome.
Well,
it's
too
just,
late now.
It's just not a great movie. I'm sorry. I heard a great bit on sequels by Bill Burr this weekend on the Conan O'Brien podcast and how terrible all sequels are.
I wonder if he's listening to the show.
No, apparently he does this at all. During the pandemic, he went around to Hollywood and pitched sequels of movies that didn't need sequels.
Like most of them?
So he had Two Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and had this whole long plot about what would happen. It was one of the funniest bits I ever heard. And it was not politically correct, but he had this thing about Schindler's Wrist, which was a sequel to Schindler. But the way he did it was so funny. Because generally, and by the way, I have a clip. I don't know if it's ready of talking about how bad sequels are from Monday Night Football. Because Maggie, your love of sequels is why this all started. You generally like sequels more than the original, and that makes you so against the grain.
Well, it's just part of me. I guess it's what makes me tick. I can't be the only person though, because what we have found after doing this movie sequel bracket, our like antenna is up to movie sequels. They're on TV all the time. They're on TV more than the regular. Like we were watching everyone collectively, not together. We were all watching St. John's in Arkansas. And after the game is over, what's the first thing that you tweeted after Arkansas St. John's ended? You're like, hey, by the way, like Winter Soldier's on TBS now or something.
Did I tweet that? I don't even remember, but I'm pretty sure it was. I also saw, I don't remember what movie it was. But yeah, the Lost Ark one was on TBS or something like that.
The Lost Ark one. But sure. But the thing is haven't you noticed this? We've been talking about it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's only sequels on television. So it's not just me who likes them.
Well, no, or they'll show the original because these are popular franchises.
Or they're just trying to fill in some dead air.
No.
But
you don't think so?
It doesn't bother you. Let's take Raiders of the Lost Ark. That he has this great bit where basically a guy has a whip in the air and then he just pulls out a gun and shoot him. And they bring back that bit in every sequel just because there's an homage to the original.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother you?
Take it up with Steven Spielberg, all right? You don't think he knows what he's doing?
No.
Get him on the show, EJ.
I think at a certain point, Spielberg is like, get me away from these sequels. They're the worst.
It's better than the Alien stuff in the fourth one.
We did Aliens. That's still alive.
Oh, no, Aliens.
Yeah.
The fourth, the Crystal Skull, there was aliens at the end of the movie going, I don't know.
Well, how about the last?
Oh, yeah, the Indiana Jones, Crystal Skull, one of the only movies I've ever walked out of in the theater. Couldn't take it anymore.
What was the one called that came out last year?
Dial of Destiny.
Oh, was that awful?
No shot.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad.
Oh,
it wasn't good.
It wasn't. I mean, the thing is, you raise such a high bar with the original that's what I'm comparing it to the original. And I guess the third one, according to you guys, Sean Connery had all those one-liners.
Yeah, he did. The dog's name was Indiana.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, 888-710-4ISN.
I like Sean Connery in SNL.
What, I'll take the rapist for 500?
That's
like
right,
That's therapists. 888-710-4476. Little Celebrity Jeopardy send up.
Anal bum covers for 500. That's an album cover, Sean.
That's comedy.
I think we do a show just to make ourselves laugh. 888-710-4ISN. All right, Maggie and Perloff, Gotham City region of the movie sequels bracket is live. You can go vote on who's going to move on to the Elite Eight. So we've got that, and we've got some football news for you. Don't move.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Yo, still a depot, yo, messed up bad. Took the wrong quote, now the whole squad's mad. Drag Maggie's name through the dirt so quick when it was Perloff talking all that spit. Now Steelers Nation's got torches lit, thinking Maggie's lost her wit. But y'all don't fact check for a bit, so let's talk about who's really full of Steelers Depot, get your facts in check. Bring the wrong one, man, show some respect. Perloff said it, but Maggie gets wrecked. Now your credibility's looking suspect. Lifetime contract, yeah, Perloff's take. The Depot's rushing just to make clickbait. Didn't even bother to hit replay. Now Maggie's out here fighting the hate. Now Twitter's wild like she's on crack. Just cause Depot ain't watched the track. Y'all spread a lie, now it won't go back. Hope y'all enjoyed that cloud contract. Where's Bellotti, or still MIA? Calls it a job, but he don't stay. Skip more shifts than Depot skips stacks. Maybe he in truth got a secret pact. Now Steelers fans acting like they found the pipe. Like Maggie's out here smoking at night. Just cause Depot got the names all wrong. Now they think she's chief and that strong. Steelers Depot, get your facts in check. Bring the wrong one, man, show some respect. Perloff said it, but Maggie gets wrecked. Now your credibility's looking suspect. Next time you want to twist the tape, try listening before you make that mistake. Depot disaster, that's your name. A lot still ghosts the game. Yo, still a Depot, yo, messed up bad. Took the wrong quote, now the whole squad's mad. Drag Maggie's name through the dirt so quick when it was Perloff talking all that spit. Now Steelers Nation's got torches lit, thinking Maggie's lost her wit. But y'all don't fact check for a bit, so let's talk about who's really full of Steelers Depot, get your facts in check. Bring the wrong one, man, show some respect. Perloff said it, but Maggie gets wrecked. Now your credibility's looking suspect. Lifetime contract, yeah, Perloff's take. The Depot's rushing just to make clickbait. Didn't even bother to hit replay. Now Maggie's out here. Yo, Steelers Depot, the messed up bag. Took the wrong quote, now the whole squad's mad. Drag Maggie's name through the dirt so quick when it was Perloff talking all that spit. Now Steelers Nation's got torches lit, thinking Maggie's lost the win. But y'all fact check for a bit, so let's talk about who's really full of Steelers Depot, get your facts in check. Blame the wrong one, man, show some respect. Perloff said it, but Maggie gets wrecked. Now your credibility's looking suspect. Lifetime contract, yeah, Perloff's take. But Depot's rushing just to make clickbait. Didn't even bother to hit replay. Now Maggie's out here fighting the hate. Next time double check that tape before you put a name on a hot debate. Journalism 101, learn the trade, or just admit your blue shade. Steelers Depot, get your facts in check. Blame the wrong one, man, show some respect. Perloff said it, but Maggie gets wrecked. Now your credibility's looking suspect. Yo, next time y'all wanna twist the tape, try listening before you make that mistake. Depot disaster, that's your name, and now you got yourselves to blame. Yo, Steelers Depot.
45 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Some sad sequels, especially for movie buffs. The Godfather, 1 and 2 were really great. 3 was whatever. Jaws: The Revenge, right? Staying Alive, another. Yeah. Caddyshack 2, right? That was they ruined that, yeah. Right? And then the Rams were 3. They're 3-9 now, 6-game losing streak, 8 of 9, longest by a defending NFL champion, and at the moment down by 10.
Okay, I was cleaning up my phone. Welcome back, Maggie Perloff Show. And I found this video I had taken off the TV of Al Michaels calling the Rams sequel season to their championship amongst the all-time bad sequels. And they had Jaws: The Revenge with and they had Caddyshack 2. And you couldn't hear it, but Herbie said it almost ruined the entire franchise. I was like, wow, why that unnecessary shot?
I was going to say, some people could say that about Kirk Herbstreit calling the NFL.
Oh, don't get...
Here she comes.
Don't get sensitive.
Dang, elbows out.
It was the producers.
But
First Tomlin, now Kirk.
I know. I am the only person
How dare
alive
you do that to Ben's dad.
who will stump for Caddyshack 2.
I mean,
just give it a chance, guys. Open mind.
Honestly, Caddyshack 2 was not the worst movie you brought up during this entire sequel conversation, because you were actually like, well, Meatballs 2 was pretty good. Meatballs 2 lost every single actor from Meatballs 1. It had a bunch of TV actors, but it had one character from the Police Academy series, so you thought it was Oscar-worthy.
Yeah, Commandant Lassard.
Yes.
Put a little respect on his name. I have no idea what his real name is.
And Revenge of the Nerds 2, which is definitely the worst movie ever made. And you're like, yes, it was so funny.
It really was. Well, you had to see the first one. If you didn't see the first one, there's no way you're going to understand the plot of the second Revenge of the Nerds 2. It's like that. So, Ryan, when you eventually get around to these...
Yeah, Revenge of the Nerds.
Just remember.
Top of the list.
These scores...
Ryan would be so offended by Revenge of the Nerds, you know?
Well, okay. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I've just heard the title, and I'm offended.
Then just wait till you see the actual content of the movie.
Okay.
It was a different time, the 80s and 90s. So the thing is, Rotten Tomatoes is a website that aggregates both the critical reception and the fan reception. Now, all these movies obviously are pretty low. Any comedies can be low on the critical, but they also are like 1 or 2% on the fan perception out of 100.
That's because I didn't vote. But anyway, the Maggie and Perloff movie sequels bracket, Gotham City region is live. You can vote to see who makes it into the Sweet 16. We got some heavy hitters in this Gotham City region. The Dark Knight, which is obviously a fantastic movie.
Is it a sequel?
Toy Story 2, Kill Bill
That's a
Volume
sequel.
2.
It's got a 2 after it. Kill Bill, also a sequel, sort of.
Superman 2, John Wick 2. So there's some good movies here.
What does Dark Knight not have that those other movies have?
A 2 next to their name?
Yes.
Well, don't worry. Batman Returns is also in a different region. That's certainly a sequel, and it doesn't have a 2.
Is it, though?
It definitely is.
I just think these movies, again, where you have to wonder and go back in your mind, is it actually a sequel? Is it the third in this series? I don't know, because actually Batman Returns is not it's the second in the Michael Keaton, but there was also an Adam West movie. So it's the third Batman movie. Whatever. Rocky 2 sequel, and we didn't put it in there.
Didn't make it in. But anyway, you can go vote at Maggie and Pearl on X. Movie sequels. We get back to the actual NCAA tournament brackets with Andrew Bogusch.
Guys, I think Ernie Johnson said Maryland-Colorado State was the 49th game of the men's bracket. Whatever the number, it was night 4 of the dance, and that's how long it took to get a buzzer beater.
Gillespie looking to throw it in. Gets it up top to Queen. Dribbling left. Big step down the lane. Runner for the win. Baked it in! He baked it in! He baked it in! And Maryland has won! Maryland is going to the Sweet 16!
Ryan Radke on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network. Derek Queen's winner, maybe fueled by a travel, got the Terps a 72-71 win over the Rams.
He was moonwalking out there. It was like a dance.
It's called the gather step, apparently. That first it is. one. Always has been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Colorado State taking the lead 6 seconds before that on a Jalen Lake 3. Terps head coach Kevin Willard on the final play, postgame on TBS.
I asked everybody, I said, who wants the ball? And he said, give me the MF ball. And I said, all right, you're getting it. And I said, don't mess around. Go after it and do it. And I give him a lot of credit, man. The big dog came up and threw.
So do you give Coach credit when he's like, who wants the ball? He knew that Queen was going to say, give it to me, right? You don't ask that question and all of a sudden the 12th man on the bench is like, be coach.
Right.
Like,
I guess so, but
give me the ball.
given it to, I think a lot of the analysts afterwards like, what was that play? Give it to the 6'10" guy at the top of the key and say dribble away. That was not what anyone expected, right? I mean, is that his game to take guys off the dribble?
Apparently he loves that play.
Loves that play?
I heard an interview with one of his teammates who said everyone knows that's where he wants the ball. That's where he likes to get the ball. So
yeah, I just think that is not a situation where you want 4 dribbles and an off
3 steps.
the wrong foot bank shot. That was a strange last play.
And then he did say after the game, that's his first ever buzzer beater. And Willard said, if I knew that, I wouldn't have given you the ball.
Yeah, but I was to say, is Kevin Willard even earning his paycheck? He's like, you guys have a play, basically. Threw his hands up in the air. What do y'all want to do?
I mean, I'll eat wherever.
Yeah, just roll the ball out, whatever. The players just.
I mean, also, who do we think's going to take the ball? The guy who's going to be an NBA lottery pick or the rest of you?
But sometimes that guy doesn't get the ball in
That's
those
true.
spots
That's
for
true.
various reasons. So maybe just doing it simply and letting your best guy be his best is good coaching.
Well, yeah, and normally, again, I'm quoting Clark Kellogg and Charles, a guard might get the ball in that situation because you don't necessarily want a 6'10" guy with 4 dribbles and 2 seconds left in the game.
Are we sure Chuck was watching the game? He wasn't watching another game and was left out of analysis?
Maybe.
Well, the guys on that game weren't watching because they had the inbound in the wrong place. I don't know if it was Robbie Hummel or Jalen Rose, but they were talking about having to go the full 94, not from half court.
Hummel would not let go of that.
No.
Yeah, I messed that up.
By the way, do you think and Kevin Willard, I think, is a good dude, you know, a Patino disciple, but been around the game for a long time. If Derek Queen had missed the shot, do you think we still get the story of I asked them who wants to take the shot? I don't think you can do that as a coach.
No, you wouldn't say that.
You
You're right.
can't, right?
Yeah. We certainly wouldn't have gotten the MF part. He might have said Derek wanted the ball, I wanted him to have it.
Yeah.
That's how we want the game to end either way. But yeah, we wouldn't have gotten the color part of it. So with that win, Maryland in the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2016. Ole Miss is going for the second time ever, courtesy of a 91-78 mini upset of third-seeded Iowa State. The Rebs face Michigan State in Atlanta on Friday. Sparty in its 16th Sweet 16 under Tom Izzo after fighting off New Mexico 71-63. Arizona erased a quick 15-point hole, then held off Oregon down the stretch for an 87-83 win. Caleb Love, 29 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Alabama took care of St. Mary's 80-66 for a third straight Sweet 16. And Kentucky downed Illinois 84-75, setting up a third meeting this season with Tennessee. That'll be Friday in Indy. The Wildcats have won the first 2. The South Carolina women in their 11th consecutive Sweet 16, a 64-53 decision over Indiana. And in men's coaching news, Texas parted ways with Rodney Terry yesterday after 3 seasons and is reportedly on the verge of replacing him with Xavier's Sean Miller, who ended the Longhorn season last week in the first 4. My sweet Manny, this one's for you.
Locks, loads. Goal! Goal! Sunshine plays a major part of the daytime. Vasco Aguirre has his black 9, and it's Raul Jimenez at 90 minutes plus delivers the goal, making it 2-1. Arriba Mexico!
We got there eventually. Mexico scoring on a PK in the second half stoppage time for a 2-1 win over Panama in LA to win the CONCACAF Nations League. The U.S. lost the third-place game. I'll say that again. U.S. lost the third-place game.
That's rough.
To Canada 2-1.
We keep losing to Canada.
We keep losing to everybody.
It's just a glorified friendlies tournament. It's nothing to get all upset about. Don't worry about it. The Gold Cup is coming soon.
It's a lot of upset people.
That's the one you want to worry about, the Gold Cup. Who cares about the Nations League?
I think it's just thank goodness that the World Cup is actually parts of it are in this country because the U.S. will get an automatic bid.
Oh, yeah. We've already got 4 teams qualified for the World Cup, 3 of them being the host nations.
Yeah, right. We can't leave anything to chance here for the U.S.
No, they're in. But you know what? You listen to what Clint Dempsey is saying on CBS Sports afterwards. Bogusch is right. It seems like there's some panic going on right now within the U.S. men's national team.
Alexi Lawless said, I think mostly sarcastically, that they might not qualify if they were not automatically in. The way they're playing right now, if you were projecting.
Well, I wonder, because they have the automatic bid, has that affected the way they've been playing?
I don't know. The problem is they have a new coach who's supposed to be finally they got to fix all of this. Yeah. And they're doing all of this. They're playing exactly the same way that they played under the previous guy. So now this is about the players. Like there's no more about the coaching staff or the format or the structure of the group. Like this is about this group of players that's supposed to be the most talented one in our history.
And this gaffer as well. He's been around as well. So I mean, the excuses about the coach is over. Like this is what the U.S. national team should be.
NBA last night, the Celtics 129-116 winners in Portland. That's 5 in a row for them. Jason Tatum, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. Steph Curry rejoining the Heat or joining the Warriors in Miami for a game tomorrow night against the Heat. Don't know yet if he actually plays, but he's almost back from that bruised pelvic bone, pelvis, all the same thing. The St. Louis Blues extending their win streak to 6, 4-1 over Nashville. They now have a 4-point lead on the Flames for the last wildcard spot out west. And Victor Hovland won the Valspar Championship by 1 shot over Justin Thomas after trailing by 3 shots with 5 holes to play. Guys, back to you.
Folks, thanks so much. Coming up, we check in on whose stock is up and whose stock is down after a big weekend. It is the M&P 500 next.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Yo, Steelers Depot, y'all messed up bad. Took the wrong quote, now the whole squad's mad. Drag Maggie's name through the dirt so quick. When it was Perloff talking all that spit. Now Steelers Nation's got torches lit, thinking Maggie's lost her wit. But y'all don't fact check for a bit. So let's talk about who's really full of Steelers Depot, get your facts in check. Blame the wrong one, man, show some respect. Perloff said it, but Maggie gets wrecked. Now your credibility's looking suspect. Lifetime contract, yeah, Perloff's take. But Depot's rushing just to make clickbait. Didn't even bother to hit replay. Now Maggie's out here fighting the hate. And where's Bilotti? Oh, still MIA. Call it a job, but he don't stay. Skip more shifts than Depot skips facts. Maybe he and Truth got a secret pact. Steelers Depot, get your facts in check. Blame the wrong one, man, show some respect. Perloff said it, but Maggie gets wrecked. Now your credibility's looking suspect. So next time y'all want to twist a take, try listening before you make that mistake. Depot disaster, that's your name. And Bilotti still ghosts the game.
You're still 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
The M&P 500 on the Infinity Sports Network.
Welcome back to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, Infinity Sports Network. Free Odyssey app. YouTube, Twitch. We're everywhere. Okay, it's time to measure up whose stock is up and whose stock is down after a big sports weekend. Pearl, you want to go first?
Yeah, so I'm going to go obvious chalk first because it's been a chalky tournament. I'm going to go Duke as stock up and Cooper Flagg. What happened to Cooper Flagg's injury, I asked you, Maggie? Remember that thing from a few weeks ago? He looks perfect. They actually became the #1 Vegas favorite. I think they entered the tournament pretty much tied with Auburn to come out. And now, according to my betting app, they are the favorite. And they just look completely dominant in their 2 games.
It's a good stock up, that's for sure. My stock up is going to go to Derek Queen in the baggy sleeves, the Maryland freshman who's going to be an NBA lottery pick and maybe even top 5 pick. I don't even know if that's old school. It's no school. He's a school onto himself. The super baggy white sleeves.
I feel like I've seen that. I feel like that was a year, maybe it was 1992. I don't know where.
I think you're thinking baggy shorts, though. Baggy shorts,
I think there's been oversized shirts. I mean, this new tight-fitting tops, that's kind of a newer thing, no?
I don't remember really seeing this. It's pretty rare, but these sleeves are baggy, man. Like it's like he's layering up for the winter or something, but he's out there scoring game winners. So stock up for Derek Queen as a fashionista. I don't know, fashion icon, blazing his own trail. Do you think he keeps the baggy sleeves in the NBA?
Well, I
it's a uniform
don't know.
violation? I don't even know if you can do that.
You could do it.
Baggy sleeves like that?
I got to be honest, and I saw him in mock drafts 7 or 8. What position is that guy in the NBA? I was kind of wondering that.
He'll figure it out.
I don't know. He seems like kind of a tweener to me. I'm curious how tall he is, too. Okay, my stock down. I'm going to go controversial here. Because I don't know if you agree with this. New York Giants signing Jameis Winston at that price made me so unexcited for the New York Giants. So Jameis Winston was it $8 million? It just made me realize, gosh, Jameis Winston is not going to lead anybody anywhere. The New York Giants, no. I feel like once again this offseason, we had faith that they would reverse what was terrible last year. I have no faith they're going to get quarterback right. It's nothing against Jameis. I think Jameis will be a good backup, but I don't think the Giants are any closer to a quarterback answer. I'm having them as my stock down after signing Jameis.
Yeah, people are high on Jameis just because of the personality, and he's going to be such a character in New York, and he has not been able to find a camera that he doesn't love. But as far as the football side of it, no, there's still plenty of questions. And you got...
Wait, then what? As far as the football side, what other side is there? Who cares about that other stuff?
I'm just saying he's going to take up a lot of oxygen. He's going to get a lot of back pages. But here's the thing. You are no closer to solving this quarterback conundrum.
Because it seems like Rodgers is leaning Pittsburgh. We'll get into that again more later. But, and then we've been talking about what if the quarterback isn't there at 3 or they don't want the guy at 3?
These two guys, Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, I mean, what a year to be on the hot seat. And you've got no obvious quarterback situation. Yeah. You went after Matthew Stafford. He said no. I mean, it's a tough scene for them.
This is phenomenal. This is all phenomenal. They have to pull a
rabbit out of there. You know what?
I mean, they might reach a quarterback at number 3 and end up costing themselves a Hall of Famer.
Oh, great.
Just because the coach and the GM are so desperate to save their job. That would be, if it works out that way, that would be franchise malpractice. All right, what do you got?
This is fun. That's great.
Agree. This is a heartwarming topic. My stock down is going to go Dan Hurley. Again, the antics, you're leaving the court. You just lost a really tough match, really tough game to Florida. And so I want to give a little bit of grace here, but this has kind of become a thing with Dan Hurley, which is yelling to the crowd. Listen, I get being authentic or having your emotions on your sleeve or being that guy, but I mean, you're going to get criticized if you are this emotional and you cannot get a handle on what's going on. And at some point, it just looks kind of immature. And he knows that. And he said, I'm not going to coach any other way. I've been coaching like this for 25 years. And then, of course, on the way out, thanks the beat writers, because he said, you guys treated me fairly, not the talking heads who try to be like Skip Bayless. It's like, listen, dude, people are going to have an opinion about what you do and what you say, and you give a lot of us plenty of fodder. So you can criticize the media all you want, but if you're going to do it your way, you're also going to get backlash. This is how the game works.
Yep.
So I would go stock down.
Yeah, it makes
hell of a
sense.
run, though, for UConn. Amazing run. Back-to-back champs and then a win in the tournament in the first round.
I was laughed at for having a similar take back in November or so, but I digress.
Well, you really hate Dan Hurley.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah.
It's been rough.
Yeah, you can't say that, I have 2 national championships and you're bald or whatever he said to that guy.
Yeah, whatever. I'm good on Danny Hurley. Really am.
All right, for my next one, I'm going to combine a stock up and stock down. Stock up. The Southeastern Conference, despite Maggie's skepticism, having a record 7 teams in the Sweet 16. And obviously, I think the natural antithesis to this, what happened to the ACC? Man, do they stink. They have Duke, but that's about it. So SEC, 7 teams. I want to ask you, Maggie, does this mean that the committee got it right putting all of those SEC teams into the field?
I think they did, yeah.
Okay.
Especially because it's, because this has been such a chalky tournament, it's not like these SEC teams are feasting on, mid-major took out a high seed and now here comes an SEC team to clean it up. This has been pretty much standard bracket. So I think the committee did get it right. They got it wrong on North Carolina, but they got it right on the SEC.
I thought you were going to talk about how all the bottom of the SEC, they all lost in the first game. So they also had,
teams,
they had 7 teams lose. But it does seem like SEC, I got to tell you, Florida beating UConn was a big deal for that, because if they had fallen to UConn, I think everyone would have said, oh, the SEC is a bit fake. But so far, so good.
Okay, are we doing up or down? We're up now,
we're
right?
up, yeah.
Okay, my stock up. Did you guys happen to see this very funny situation that happened between Jaden Daniels and Juju Watkins? Did anyone catch this? So obviously the Washington Commanders quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner, and Juju Watkins, like the most famous, college basketball player now outside of Paige Beckers. And the way that the video that I saw on social media made it look is that the two of them, the 2 young athletes, are sitting next to each other, and it looks like they're kind of flirting. Like it's it's really cute. They're laughing and smiling, and they look like they have this sort of chemistry. And then the next shot is Jaden Daniels' mom sitting in between them.
Oh, no.
And the caption was like, mom's not letting, Jaden get anywhere near a girl or something like that. And so as a mom, I thought that was pretty funny. I have no idea if that's actually how it went down. It's just the way the social media video made it go down. But that would be a hell of a couple. Juju Watkins and Jaden Daniels, that's a sports power couple.
Wait, was this for a company or was this just for fun?
No, they were just sitting watching a game. Juju Watkins is in her USC stuff. They're watching a tournament game together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Guys, we got to make this happen. Stock up on the possible relationship. Mom's not going to be able to hold this down.
We'll see.
Is Jaden single?
I think so.
His mom, he has been open saying his mom needs to really like the girl in the past. Oh,
you should like Juju Watkins. She's got her own thing going on. Obviously not in it for the money. She's got her own money. She's not clout chasing. She is the clout. This is this would be a dream if your son could be dating someone like her.
All right. Well, if we're opening up the relationship thing, I did have a kind of stock. I'm not sure. The new celebrity couple.
That, Ryan.
What do we think of Tiger Woods dating a Trump?
I think seems like it makes a lot of sense.
I don't know. I just feel like Tiger Woods now dating Vanessa Trump, who is the ex-daughter-in-law, ex-daughter-in-law of Donald Trump. I feel like dating Tiger Woods is not a great idea.
What makes you say that?
Yeah. No, I just think it's like you're talking about power couples and couples you could get behind. I think it's hard to believe in love when Tiger Woods starts dating somebody. I just think it's been so bad. Immediately I saw Tiger Woods has a new girlfriend. I'm like, oh, this is going to go bad.
Run, girl.
I actually want to say stock down on love because I have no faith. I listen. I root for Tiger on the golf course. I just don't think he's going to get it right in that realm.
Well, how about second, third chance, fourth
Well,
chances?
remember he dated that woman for a long time, and then
sued him.
She got kicked out of her house, and I remember
that was ugly.
He was with Lindsey Vonn, who's awesome, and that didn't work out.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's just I don't.
Well, we all remember what happened with his first wife.
Yeah, I mean that was obviously yeah.
Yeah. 9-iron to the back of the Escalade. On Thanksgiving, too, which is tough.
I mean, how many times have we had the headline, Tiger Woods is finally happy? I mean, finally happy, finally happy, finally happy. I ask you, is he finally happy?
Hell if I know. I mean, I hope he finds happiness just like I hope we all do. But, yeah, he's been a little, I don't want to say unlucky in love because I think some of it's been
Some of it?
It's been self-fulfilling prophecies. But I'm not surprised that, he's dating a Trump, though, because they're so connected with golf courses and Tiger and the president are close.
Oh, I didn't know that. Tiger and the president are close?
I mean, they've got golf in common. What more could two men have in common?
Yeah, so
if
does
not golf?
Charles Barkley and Donald Trump also like golf. I don't think they're going on the links anytime soon.
Wait, that's news to me. You could definitely be right. But does he golf with Trump? I know a lot of the guys do.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Tiger's been on the course with Trump.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
100%. So, no, I'm not all that surprised. But, yeah, I guess when you hear Tiger Woods in love, that's generally not a great ending. Maybe this time will be different. Maybe. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. I had another stock up for you I forgot about. Stock up, do you guys know what the most popular dog breed is in the United States? Did anyone see this?
A Corgi.
No.
It shot my shot.
I would have thought Labrador Retriever or something that seems kind of like quintessential Americana.
It's something very random, ain't it?
It's a French Bulldog. Number one dog breed of the U.S. I was surprised.
I've always said that. Nothing says America quite like the French Bulldog. Always said that.
No, nothing says U.S. of A. Quite like a snoring bulldog.
Like Le French Bulldog.
There you go. Forgot to add that one in.
That had a little Anchorman when we see a squirrel on
water skis. How about that?
How about that? It's a French Bulldog.
That's adorable.
And you take your papers like
got
this.
My papers, shuffle my papers. Roll the credits.
I saw a similar story. As long as we're killing time at the end of the hour here.
Oh,
boy. These are great stories. Aren't killing. I'm making a choice to talk about this.
A squirrel on water skis?
How about that? T. Higgins, new Bengals receiver, was quote tweeting a story that I found very interesting. I'm curious if you guys knew this. Facts, the @Facts Twitter handle said jellyfish and lobsters are considered biologically immortal. They don't age and will never die unless they are killed. T. Higgins tweeted, I already knew this, fam. So did you guys know that jellyfish can live forever and that lobsters are basically lobsters never die unless they're killed.
That doesn't sound right. It can't be right.
Well, not literally immortal, but for all intents and purposes, there are certain kinds of jellyfish that keep reproducing themselves and never ever die. And lobsters live so long, there's no reason to even track how long they're living.
Interesting. Well, remember when we went to the alligator farm in Louisiana not that long ago? We were down there for Super Bowl, and they had some tortoises that were like 80, 90 years old. How old was that tortoise?
Oh, my God. The tortoises live to 150.
I know.
My tortoise, Hermes, is going to way outlive me. I just like the fact that T. Higgins is a nature enthusiast.
Yeah, you can see that coming.
I already knew this, fam. Like, what is T doing? Bragging about his knowledge of biology here?
Did you guys see them racing their Lamborghinis?
Oh, no.
In Miami?
Jamar and T?
That doesn't seem very smart.
Like, illegally racing them?
No, they were just, to be honest, I want to be fair to them.
On a drag strip, perhaps?
No, they were driving like any other Miami driver. Yeah, I said it.
On 95?
Oh, I mean, A1A, you're taking your life in your hands. You're driving around Miami or Fort Lauderdale for that matter.
Wait, sorry, just to give context. Was it randomly someone filmed it or they had set it up so people were filming them?
No, it wasn't like so much of a commercial, but someone was obviously filming them, and they're in these twin Lamborghinis.
Vroom, vroom.
One's like lime green and the other one I think was white or blue.
That's awesome.
And they're just kind of weaving in and out of traffic. It didn't seem so dangerous. Again, it just seemed like crazy Miami driver. Like they were fitting right in with the Miami traffic patterns.
Florida man drives erratically in Miami streets.
I mean, if something bad had happened, they would have had it all on tape, so that's not so smart. But yeah, you know, you get a big paycheck and all of a sudden
you're driving a Lamborghini, a Lambo.
Just drive it at 75 miles an hour.
Yeah, they're talking to each other out the windows and stuff.
That doesn't seem safe.
It doesn't. 888-710-4ISN. We get back to the tournament and to the big football news from the weekend in just a moment. It's M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Turn on the radio, it's time to hear it all. Maggie and Perloff, they be talking about the ball, football, baseball, even hoops in the fall. Debating all the takes, man, they never drop the call. Oh, we all just wanna have a ball. Maggie's bringing fire, Perloff's taking every stall. Hot takes flying like a deep end zone hall. Laughing at the nonsense, gotta listen to it all. Perloff's got a list, but it don't make sense at all. Maggie shuts it down like a big defensive wall. Callers on the line trying to give the little draw. South still yelling about the Mets, man, he's ready to ball. Oh, we all just wanna have a ball. Morning show energy, yeah, they always have a ball. Well, Perloff's ain't gonna survive another fall. Maggie rolls her eyes, but she's here to take the call. Wanna have a ball, morning show energy, and they always have a ball. Will Perloff's ankle survive another fall? Maggie rolls her eyes, but she's here to take the call. Oh, we all just wanna have a ball. Morning show energy, yeah, they always have a ball. Will Perloff's ankle survive another fall? Maggie rolls her eyes, but she's here to take the call. Turn on the radio, it's time to hear it all. Maggie and Perloff, they be talking about.
This is Daly. I'm out here. And Cap, I think you're great. This is Daly.
Andrew Perloff loves his turtle, call it chill shot bliss. He feeds it kale and lettuce, then gives it a little kiss. Andrew Bogusch's turtles got a mansion in the tank with a slide, a tiny hammock, and a treasure chest bank. Two-tone Tony rolls in, his turtles got swag. Cruising slow but steady, repping that reptile flag. Meanwhile, Kevin LaMelle's got tacos on his plate. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, he's got no time to wait. Turtle love, taco dreams, Andrew and Andrew living supreme. Two-ton Tony, slow and steady crew. Kevin's got breakfast tacos, what's Peter gonna do? Yo, Perloff's turtles chillin', basking in the heat. Bogusch's turtles flexing, got gold chains on its feet. Tony's turtles on TikTok, racking up views, while Kevin's tacos sizzle, serving up the news. But Bellatti's MIA, not a damn thing new. Work? Nah, he'd rather just hit snooze. We're out here hustling, making turtles the stars, and Pete's just ghosting like he's hanging on Mars. Turtle love, taco dreams, Andrew and Andrew living supreme. Two-ton Tony, slow and steady crew. Kevin's got breakfast tacos, what's Peter gonna do? Yo, Perloff's turtle spotlight, tacos taking the stage, while Bellatti's excuses keep showing his.
15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Flag goes high for the rebound and scans the horizon, moving left. Those long steps. Touch for Knipple. Left wing three is a splashdown. Duke by 16.
It's the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network with the call, and Duke has been all that it was hyped up to be. Two pretty easy games for them, Pearl, and it looks like the public could be right about this. Now, we got a long way to go. We're just at the Sweet 16, but they were the betting favorite coming into the tournament. More people pick them to win the national championship than anybody, according to, all the websites that are keeping track of this type of thing, and they've looked like the national champs.
Well, yeah, Auburn had a struggle in the second round, and so did Florida. I think it's Houston actually has looked strong, but their bracket's not super elite. So I think Duke feels like the team to beat, but can we really judge anything based on Baylor? I mean, I remember coming in the tournament, all the experts were wondering how will Duke match up against Mississippi State. No one even counted Baylor as in it. So I'm still a little dubious. But it does seem like the betting odds are really swinging Duke's way.
We are asking you on X a couple things. First of all, you've got the Maggie and Perloff movie sequel bracket. You can vote right now. Gotham City region open. Who's going to advance to the Sweet 16? We're also asking you a couple questions. One, is Duke the only college basketball brand that matters? That is not my take. That is an Andrew Perloff exclusive.
That one I feel 100% confident in.
I don't think so. You got a lot of heavy hitters left in the Sweet 16. It's basically been all heavy hitters. This is not a Cinderella bracket. And in fact, the only Cinderella you could really squint and say fits the bill is oddly John Calipari's Arkansas team, which is a 10 seed, but they have a Hall of Fame head coach. So it kind of feels a little odd to call them a Cinderella or an underdog because it is Coach Cal.
Well, actually, if you're talking about like ratings, I think that is a team that could do a lot for you, Arkansas. But generally, the last 2 years have been the lowest rated men's finals we've had. UConn, Purdue, UConn, San Diego. So you need Duke. The big numbers are always Duke. And then you mentioned a program that's in the same category, UNC, but I don't think they're there anymore under Hubert Davis. And I don't think Kentucky's there. Mark Pope seems like a great coach, but he needs to build that up. So I think right now it's Duke or bust with a little spice with Cal.
Interesting. 888-710-4ISN. 888-710-4476 is the new number to call. We are also asking, are you rooting for John Calipari? Kind of an unceremonious exit from Kentucky, for sure. 2 first-round exits and a second-round exit in his last 3 tournaments. And, he lands at Arkansas and Pearl. I think there were a lot of people who believed his way of doing things is over. Recruiting the freshman and the guy out of high school who's going to be one and done, you can't win that way in the tournament anymore. Lo and behold, he's got a mix now of transfers and freshmen, and here he is back in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, but has he proven that model yet?
I mean,
he'd be kind of St. John's, if they could hit the ocean with one of their shots, probably would advance. I think it's a little early to say proof of concept there.
That was a tough end of the game. I mean, it was an entertaining game between Arkansas and St. John's. St. John's loses to Coach Cal, but nobody could make a shot in the last 3 minutes. I mean, by the end, no one could make a free throw, and it wasn't even close. They were hitting front iron.
It's so weird now because we used to judge these teams based on NBA talent, and it's just really not there throughout the tournament. The good teams, you have Cooper Flagg, you have Derek Queen, but generally we're not seeing a lot of NBA stars from any mock draft I'm looking at. Those guys are all either playing somewhere else or gone already. So I think it's hard. Like Arkansas, St. John's, if you saw them nakedly, would you say, oh my God, St. John's is so much of a higher seed? No way. They look similar to me.
888-710-4ISN. All right, let's hit the phones. First, our pal Nick in Texas, who is the proprietor of Pearl Jam Season 4, the Maggie and Perloff. This is our conventional bracket, men's bracket. Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Well, good morning. Now that we're halfway through most of the teams and into the Sweet 16, I'd like to give the audience a little update on where everybody's standing in the bracket currently.
Fantastic. What do you have for us?
All right. Well, we'll start from the bottom. We got Andrew Bogusch in 97th place. And then we have EJ, who's coming in at 59th. Manny, who's actually coming in 25th. Now, Perloff, he's in 77th. Maggie, you're actually in 72nd place. And then speaking of Duke, we have friends of the show, Zach Gelb and Mike Samter. Zach Gelb is in 15th. Mike Samter is in 102nd. And then we have Perloff's wife, Sarah, who's in 83rd place.
Nice, Pearl. Sarah's in 83rd place. I'm sure she'll be thrilled.
Now, there's one person I left off because he's actually doing amazing, and it's Cap. Cap is actually tied for first place.
I know. Andrew Kaplan, who is the wizard kind of behind the curtain of this show, is tied for first, Pearl. He admitted the other day he's watched 0 minutes of college basketball this year, which is fine. He doesn't have to watch college basketball to be good at his job for what he does for this show. 0 minutes, and he's tied for first. Explain yourself, Cap.
Any surprise there? Of course, that's how brackets work.
Man, Nick, this is a great update. Nick, where are you in the standings?
Let's not talk about that. I'm down kind of in the bottom, last 3, I think, out of all of that. Yeah, so this will be the last time I auto-pick because I did so many brackets, and so I just hurried up. But in my other brackets, I'm actually doing well. But the one for the show, I'm down at the bottom.
Oh.
Very, very bottom.
Well, there will always be a Pearl Jam Season 5. Yes.
Nick, you followed this really closely. Don't you feel like this year is more up for grabs because everyone's still alive? I'm looking at the max points allowed, and we're all right in the mix. It doesn't matter if you're 1 or if you're 150 right now.
Correct. Yeah, no. And a lot of you are still alive, too, with Michigan State, Florida, Auburn,
Yeah, I think
Duke.
if Maggie gets Michigan State through, she is in the mix.
Definitely in the mix. But currently, the top person right now is Jeffrey Duggan. He's our current leader.
And do you know who Jeffrey has winning it all? The Maryland
He does.
Terrapins.
Maryland. Yeah.
Maybe Jeffrey knows something that we don't know. So it's there's 4 people tied for fourth, and again tied for first. Excuse me.
Right.
And again, we're talking about Pearl Jam Season 4. This is our pal Nick in Texas who's on the line, who creates the Maggie and Perloff, like our conventional bracket here, and he calls it Pearl Jam. So here's the top 4 people: Jeffrey, who's got Maryland, Anthony Martinez, who's got Duke, Barry Bernardo, who's got Florida, and our own Andrew Kaplan, who also has Florida.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And Pine Needle's 7th, but bad news, Pine Needle.
Pick
Got
St. John's.
St. John's winning it all.
I know, but still holding tight. Well, Nick, we're excited. We can't believe it's halfway through the tournament, and check in with us again soon, okay?
I will. You guys have a great morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick in Texas.
Halfway through the tournament.
Is that about right?
I guess half the field is gone, but there are a lot more games.
Yeah, no, we have a few more games, don't we? Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, National Championship game. Not bad.
Your math isn't that far off.
which is rare because it normally is.
Yeah, I'm going to let Steelers Depot know about this misstep there, Maggie.
Yeah, Steelers Depot, by the way. Still haven't heard anything from them. They inaccurately aggregated something that I said and attributed to me when it was actually something that Perloff had said.
Yeah, and the clip is very clear that I said it.
Yes.
From the get-go. The clip is basically me saying that.
And yet I'm the one who's being called a crackhead because Perloff said that Mike Tomlin has earned a lifetime contract with the Steelers.
Which I never said. I said he has a lifetime contract with the Steelers, not that he's earned it.
Jay is in Nashville. Jay, you enjoying the tournament so far?
Yeah, I am. Well, I enjoyed it downtown. I told you I was going downtown to watch it, and I got to watch it on. I got to watch that Duke game on a really, really big screen, up in my face with a half chicken and some yellow rice and something else. I don't know. I was just getting at it, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, even though we had like a tornado warning, but it didn't deter anybody. Everybody was still walking around. It did look a little shady outside, but. I mean, it was good to sit down and watch the game. Duke looks really good. I sat up and watched. I missed Auburn the day before, but like both of my teams, I picked to be in the final. I picked Auburn to win it all, but I picked Auburn and Duke to be in the national championship. So I'm still good there. And I sat up last night and watched my hometown team, Arizona Wildcats. That was a good game between them and Oregon last night. Which I mean. They could have won either way, but Arizona looks really good compared to what they look like in the regular season. I didn't know what was going on with that, but it was a pretty good thing, though.
Yeah, listen, Arizona and Duke set up in the Sweet 16. I'm not mad at that. I'm hoping that somebody can finally give Duke a little bit more pushback. But Jay, I'm excited. I'm glad, first of all, that the tornadoes, it was much ado about nothing because we saw what happened with some of those tornadoes last week. Just pure devastation. It was so sad. So I'm glad it was like I don't know, a false alarm, if that's the right term. And glad you had a great time watching the tournament.
Yeah, it usually is like, a false alarm. I think that's what kills everybody. I mean, not literally kills everybody. That was the wrong choice of word. But, yeah, a lot of times you get tornado warnings all the time, and it's like everybody's like, yeah, whatever. They'll get so many false alarms, but it still was pretty cool. It was like the weather was warm, but still it wasn't hot.
Yeah.
The sky looked ominous. I was outside in front of your bar, Tootsie's, too, and that was funny. I was like, that's the bar she was talking about.
I know. That's the bar where I met one of the members of NSYNC.
Yeah, and it looked shady as I don't know what, and people were still on top of the roof looking at all that shady stuff in the sky. I was like, you guys are like lunatics up there. But, oh, yeah, and I saw that thing with Juju and Jaden. I know what you're talking about. I think it maybe the way they were like putting it out there was making it look a certain way, and it probably really wasn't. I really hope it really wasn't, because the way they made Jaden's mom look, if it really was that, I'm sure she's going to look at that video now like, damn, I really need to back off. So I'm like, dude, that kid is a grown man. He plays a grown man game.
Jay, thanks for checking in, dude. I don't think she's thinking that way. So this was a video that was circulating on social media of two very young, famous athletes, Jaden Daniels and Juju Watkins, and they look like they were kind of sitting next to each other in a game, flirting with each other, and it's like, wow, this could be a fun sports power couple. And then the next clip is Jaden Daniels' mom sitting literally in between them. I think it was some fun with editing, but I'm rooting for this relationship now.
I don't know. It sounds like there's some sort of corporate shenanigans going on.
Oh, you think it was like Gatorade set it up or something?
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, was Jaden Daniels, is he on part of that? Is he off with Micah Parsons doing a show? No, I guess he's not. But generally, all these young players are doing things on social media where there's like a secret corporate tie-in that comes out. Also, isn't Juju busy? I don't understand how she has time to be watching a game with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this was a recent clip, right?
It was from when, so I guess she just played.
Yeah.
And she.
Oh, it was after she played.
After she played or before? Probably not before.
Yeah, probably after.
Probably after she played. She was just sitting in the stand watching them play another game.
Got it. By the way,
her wrist is. I wonder how it's going to be. She got hurt in the last round.
just for fun, I went through, looked at champions. In our bracket, you could see who everyone picked. The teams that people have lost already. One guy had Kansas going through to the end. That's a dark horse.
Well, optimist.
Yeah, a few Iowa States are already down. I think with the injuries, that's a strange pick too. A couple Wisconsins. Oh man, that's tough. That is tough. Our buddy Big Cat had a really bad weekend with Wisconsin. Sorry.
888-710-4ISN. So we got a little update there for Maggie and Perloff Pearl Jam Season 4. As we mentioned, the Maggie and Perloff movie sequels bracket live, the Gotham City region, is available for you to go vote right now. All right, we got to get to a lot of NFL news from the weekend. Quarterback stuff, including AaronRodgers. Where was he and why did he leave that place without a contract? We've got the latest for you next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. So we had some news on Friday. Aaron Rodgers visited the facility in Pittsburgh, spent multiple hours getting to know the coaches, and he walked away without signing a contract, which is not a surprise to me because I think that the second day of the NCAA tournament is not a big enough event for Aaron Rodgers to upstage by actually signing. I think he wants to wait for at least an Elite Eight matchup to take the headlines. Yeah, I mean, a Friday, day 2, no, that's not enough. Because Aaron Rodgers has to be dramatic here. I lean towards it's happening. Of course, Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, said, what is it, a safe bet? Safe bet. It just makes all the logic in the world that he's now going to sign with Pittsburgh. Do you have any doubts?
Well, I think it's funny that if you hear from the New York Giants side of things and from their reporters who, the Giants side, Jameis Winston, to backup money over the weekend, they're saying they think the door's still open for Rodgers to come to New York. And I just can't tell if this is delusion a little bit by the Giants side of things, or maybe Rodgers is planning a visit there too. I have no idea.
Maybe he's leveraging the two.
Possible. But
does he even have to plan a visit? Because he has a house in Jersey right there.
Well, you can't just show up at the facility, right?
Right, but I don't think it has the same travel impact. I don't know. You don't have to fly there.
No,
Just
you
drive.
don't. But
actually, I don't think he's spending any time in Jersey right now.
Maybe not.
Did he sell the house after the Jets?
We haven't heard. So I think he's still got the house. Listen, he's such a multimillionaire. It doesn't matter. Keep the house. But I don't know. I think that maybe he has to sleep on it and think on it. And to be honest, the Steelers would be lucky to have him. I've said this. As far as their other options are concerned, you want to go back to Russell Wilson. I can see it. He's got a relationship with George Pickens and had one with DK Metcalf going back to the the Seahawks days. But I think the Steelers are kind of SOL here. And I wonder if they'd hoped that he would have signed and put pen to paper after 6 hours in the facility. But, I could also see Rodgers wanting to sleep on it, think on it a little bit. At the same time, it's been weeks. I mean, it's not like there's been that many teams who have been in on Rodgers. It looks like the Vikings, the Steelers, and the Giants are kind of the three. Mm-hmm. So I assume you've been thinking about it for a while.
Yeah, no Cleveland yet. Unless there was a really desperate situation, I don't think Rodgers would take the Cleveland job. So, it's funny. I think Pittsburgh needs Rodgers. New York does not need Rodgers at all because they are. I understand the coach is on the hot seat, but they have to rebuild. They are not a team that needs a 41-year-old quarterback. You generally do not add a 41-year-old Hall of Fame level quarterback to a 3-14 team. He's got to be the missing piece, right? He's got to be added to a team that is ready to win in the playoffs, not a team that will be lucky to be 9-7. What would be the point of that?
Well, guys are trying to save their jobs. I think that's probably first and foremost. But secondly,
which is the wrong point.
Is the wrong point, but it's a reality. And I think the other part is it's not a given here with the Giants. They're picking third in the draft. In some ways, it's not terrible, but it's not exactly where you want to be because you have no idea what Cleveland is going to do. It looks like maybe the Titans, they have not signed a veteran. So you could say, all right, Cam Ward, that could look like a lock. Mm-hmm. But nobody knows what Cleveland's going to do. They signed Kenny Pickett as a backup. They still got this Jameis Winston contract that they're on the hook for. He's out with an Achilles. They need a quarterback. And they didn't even dip their toe. They didn't even try to turn Matthew Stafford's head. I don't even think they'd have money for that. They didn't try for Geno. I I think they have to be going quarterback. So if you're the Giants, you're kind of screwed.
Well, not if they sign Rodgers and have Winston as a backup, that opens up that 3 pick to non-quarterbacks because there's a double whammy here. A, they might not get the quarterback because they'll go to Cleveland. Then B, take it for what it's worth. There are a lot of draft experts who don't think Shedeur Sanders is worthy of the number 3 pick. He is very polarizing in the media scouting community.
But let's just say Shedeur is definitely the second best prospect in the draft. And even that's not a given.
Right.
But you think it's a reach maybe to go Shedeur at 2. How about like a, Jackson Dart at 3. That's definitely a reach.
Oh, my God. That's beyond a reach.
Yeah, exactly. So,
But,
again, if I'm the
kind of
Giants,
reach-
you're kind of screwed here.
The kind of reach we see every spring. As I said yesterday, look at any mock draft. March 24th, do you think Bo Nix and Michael Penix were top 12 picks at this point last year? Penix, until the days before the draft, was considered a second rounder. In fact, nobody thought he was going the first round. So guys get pushed up. Maybe Jackson Dart's that guy. Maybe Tyler Shuck's that guy. Maybe Milroe is that guy. But still, again, not ideal situations. If I'm a Giant fan, I actually want Rodgers there because that means you are not taking a quarterback at 3. And if it all goes south, then what happens? The universe wants Arch Manning in a Giants uniform, just like his uncle Eli.
Oh, man. It almost feels like the Giants shouldn't be rewarded in that way because of some of the missteps that they've gotten themselves into this mess. Like, do they deserve a bailout by getting Arch Manning?
It's how the universe works.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, did the Spurs deserve Tim Duncan? Did the Colts deserve Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning? No.
Maybe. It's a fascinating one, that's for sure. 888-710-4ISN. I thought for 2 guys, and the head coach and the GM, who definitely are on the hot seat, the Jameis Winston signing was an odd one. Now, I know he's going to be a backup. It's 2 years, $8 million, no threat to a starter. But depending on how this goes, you might be asking him to start a significant amount of games for you.
You need a body, though.
The Jameis Winston experience is exactly that. It's an experience watching him play.
I hear you, but at least he's a veteran. I think they could do a lot worse. I mean, that's the kind of who are they looking at?
Well, I thought Russell Wilson would have been the more interesting.
And by the way, Russell Wilson still could end up there.
Yeah, which is weird to me. That seems very redundant. So you're basically going to sign 2 backups?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Pittsburgh did last year.
Yeah, and where to get him? I mean, to the playoffs, but not a playoff win.
It does feel, if they sign 2 backups and don't draft a quarterback, then it feels like they are preparing for next year's draft. If it's Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, then it's somebody next year.
Bogusch, you're a Giants fan. You saw the Jameis Winston news came down, and you thought what?
I thought this will be fun, that we might get a laugh or 2 out of this. And I think this means that they're going to draft a quarterback.
At 3?
No.
Somewhere.
I still think I saw a mock draft that has them, I guess, coming back or moving back to 19 to take Jackson Dart. They have a very early pick in round 2. Maybe they stay there. But yeah, I think this means, and this is the way why I wanted Stafford, this is the way it should go, is they should take this the best player available, non-QB at 3, and then get their quarterback the next time around.
Can I tell you this is shaping up eerily similar to when the Giants drafted Daniel Jones?
Stop it.
I'm telling you, they had the 6th pick that year, and they had, 19? Ended up being Dexter Lawrence, I think, from the Odell Beckham Jr. trade. It was either 17 or 19. I can't remember. And they thought they were going to pick somebody with that 6th pick, and it was going to be the quarterback with the 19th pick, and it was going to be Daniel Jones. And then they got oopsie-dooped by, I think, Denver. I can't remember who started the rumor that they were taking Daniel Jones. And they ended up taking him at 6 because they talked themselves into it and said, listen, if we're going to take him at 19, we might as well take him at 6. They will do the same thing with Jackson Dart.
Yeah, a lot of rumors about Dart, Jets and Dart,
but the
Saints and Dart.
But the problem in that scenario is that Daniel Jones wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
So if they take Jackson Dart or Milroe or the Shep, I just don't know how to say his name.
Yeah.
If they take that guy anywhere and he's good, then it doesn't matter what else happened. The problem with Daniel Jones was he was Daniel Jones.
Well, that's playing Monday morning quarterback.
No, but
at the time, did you know it?
I mean, that's not the way I wanted to go there.
Well, I do agree. Jackson Dart comes in with a lot more pedigree than Daniel Jones. I mean, Jackson Dart was Gatorade Player of the Year, USC, Ole Miss.
Right.
Daniel Jones was the Duke quarterback, for God's sake.
Yeah, and they should, I would have, more certainly in retrospect, it would have been nice for them to go, we don't need him at 6, but he was a complicated prospect at 6 or in that first round. And they were just flat out wrong about him.
But it was not a great quarterback draft that year.
Exactly like this one.
May he rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins was the other player they were looking at.
Yeah, so I think that analogy really works in that sense because it's quarterbacks getting way pushed up. The fact that, I mean, I was laughing about everyone on TV saying Tyler Shuck is this wildly talented quarterback. Yeah, was he that way in 2017 at Texas Tech? You weren't talking about him like this or whatever, wherever he was at that time?
Here's the thing. I have no sympathy, though, for the Giants because they keep doing this to themselves, which is they could have taken a quarterback in 2018 when they had the second overall pick and took Saquon Barkley, and they could have taken a quarterback last year and decided not to do it and took Malik Neighbors.
Or they could have not won games with Tommy DeVito and taken Jaden Daniels, and this would be a completely different conversation.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I think I said Michael Penix at number 6 was the right pick last year. I did not understand why Penix was getting shortchanged in all the mocks. I know it was the health. By the way, Tyler Shuck was at Oregon in 2018. I just want to apologize because I know people in Eugene are listening. 2018. That is 2 years before the pandemic. Tyler Shuck was the Ducks quarterback.
Manny was in preschool in 2018.
That's right.
Aren't you noticing that now with the NCAA tournament? When I saw Lamont Butler, I mean, this is a while ago now. It's like, wow, he hit that huge game winner many years ago.
No, that was last year.
I thought it was the San Diego State he hit the game winner. That wasn't last year.
No,
That was
didn't he?
2 years ago.
Okay, so 2 years ago still. That's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, these guys are been around.
Yes.
Which is funny because normally when you're around a long time, it makes you more popular or maybe people are more invested in you.
No.
I'm not finding it's that.
No, it's now it means you're not talented if you stick around, right?
Yeah, it means you're not. I mean, especially in basketball, it means you're not an NBA player. Or you started at a place and you played 3 years in obscurity, and now you're spending your last year or two playing on a bigger stage.
Well, not all the time. I mean, I didn't think that Zach Edey was going to be a great pro, but he gets a lot of burn with Memphis.
Yeah, because I think people were pegged him wrong.
Okay.
And he also, I think he liked staying in college.
Yeah, he's an example of he stuck around for a long time, eventually got to the national title game, and has actually been a good pro.
Good, but
Decent pro.
I think the reason that he wasn't a top 2 or 3 pick, because the upside on Zach Edey, you could see it. It's like he's going to be a serviceable big man for life.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, but again, I think if you stay in college, I do agree with that. If you stay till you're 23 in college basketball, that's an indictment of your talent level. And there's no way around it. Football, and by the way, we say the same thing. How many times have we compared Tyler Shuck to Brandon Whedon already?
Yep, a
if
lot
you
of
come
times.
into the NFL at 24 or 25, the odds are stacked against you that you're going to be good.
Well, did Shuck play baseball? I don't think so. At
No,
least those other guys
in
played
2018.
baseball.
No, he redshirted his first year at Oregon, even though playing, and he got the extra COVID year, and he's just there.
Lifelong college
No
players.
Mormon trip. I look for a Mormon mission. I can't find one.
All the usual things that we look for.
Yeah, we used to have now with the COVID year. Just look at the age of some of the dudes in the tournament. That's all you need to know.
We're old. The Mormon mission was the thing. Like that was the reason why a guy was still in school like 25.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's about 19 different possibilities.
Yeah. Well, we've had Mormon missions recently though, right?
But it used to be like that was
the reason. Why is he
yeah.
23? It's like, because he spent the last year like in Tanzania.
Right.
Yeah.
And next year's #1 recruit going to BYU, right?
But I don't think he's going on a Mormon mission.
AJ DeBansta, whatever his name is. You could say it.
I think you're good.
Is he going to go on a mission or
To
is he
the
going to
NBA.
go pro? Yeah.
It's funny. They put him right in Portland. That's where the mission is. Bogusch has headlines for us.
As you guys have mentioned, only 4 conferences represented in the men's Sweet 16. That is the fewest ever. And 15 of the 16 come from just 3 of the leagues, the SEC, the Big 12, and the Big 10. The SEC accounting for 7 schools, including Ole Miss, a 91-78 winner over Iowa State. Florida, who survived a UConn upset, 77-75. Kentucky, who downed Illinois, 84-75. And Alabama.
In the front court, Phylon comes away with a steal for Alabama. 2-on-2. An alley-oop and a jam for Grant Nelson. They are celebrating on the far sideline, 72-60, as we come up on 5 minutes left to go in the game.
Scott Graham on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network. Alabama running away from St. Mary's for an 80-66 win and a 3rd straight trip to the regional semifinals. Duke is the lone ACC team in the Sweet 16 after thumping Baylor 89-66. Michigan State and Maryland repping the Big Ten. Sparty down New Mexico last night, 71-63. And the Terps stunned Colorado State 72-71 on Derek Queen's buzzer beater. And Arizona outscored Oregon 87-83 to give the Big 12 another rep. Caleb Love, 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. From the women's bracket, Notre Dame sent Michigan home 76-55. Hannah Hidalgo, 21 points. Up next is TCU. Haley Van Lith with 16 points, 10 assists to beat her old team Louisville 85-70. The Horned Frogs in the Sweet 16 for the first time ever. On the coaching front, Iowa is hiring Drake's Ben McCollum to replace Fran McCaffrey. Just 2 years ago, McCollum was at Northwest Missouri State, winning his 4th Division II national title. Texas fired Rodney Terry yesterday and should soon replace him with Xavier's Sean Miller, and NC State officially hiring Will Wade. The Anaheim Ducks had a special pregame speaker last night against the Hurricanes. It was Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh.
What an honor. This is incredible. It's the kind of stuff I live for right here. This time right before the game, and I can see the heart going. My heart's going too. I was always like one of those race horses at the Kentucky Derby, before a game. Like, you can tell. I mean, they got a little sweat. Got a little sweat coming down. You can see the heart pumping, snot bubbles coming out. I mean, you guys are fucking thoroughbreds, man.
But he wasn't done, Maggie. The Ducks have some kind of like bow and arrow motto thing, so Harbs had to run with that as well.
Let's go draw the arrow back. I just feel that. I feel that strong. That's strong. Like, right there, right? Draw back as far as you can. Aim and release. Take your freaking shot. Man, it gets me right there. So go out and play as hard as you can, as fast as you can, as long as you can. Keep your wits about you, and don't worry. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
When you watch the video, the Ducks are laughing at this as if he's Will Ferrell mimicking a head coach. And then they lost 4-2 to Carolina, so none of it mattered. None of it worked. Come on.
He didn't even do the who's got it better than us. Like, you got to end with the signature thing. This is what the crowd wants.
I don't think the crowd in the locker room they're all laughing like it's a bit.
Well, what's funny about that is Perloff and I interviewed Jim Harbaugh at the Super Bowl, and even he gave us the who's got it better than us. Like, you got to end with your closer.
Can we be honest about that interview, though?
What?
There were some life lessons that Jim Harbaugh was trying to teach us that we had a bad Zoom connection. So some of the messaging got confused.
A little bit.
He's like,
Well, that's not our fault. He didn't come to Radio Row. We were there. We were ready.
Yeah, he's like, he was sick or something. But he said, like, before you leave, make sure you buy some eggs or something. It was just because the Zoom cut off. We didn't even know what he was talking about.
I'm wondering, would it have been better if Harbaugh went to another one of his tricks, which is reciting a monologue from Henry V from memory, which we found out when one of his former Michigan players said. All of a sudden, he just breaks in. Like, you can tell he's searching. He's not really sure where to go. And it's like, all right, am I doing the Shakespeare thing this time? Or am I going to do
the snot bubbles?
Am I doing the snot bubbles? Am I doing the bow and arrow thing?
He just starts the sentence without knowing where it's going.
No clue.
Yeah. I'm starting to notice something of your observations of Jim Harbaugh, Maggie. When Harbaugh went to the NFL after Michigan, you wanted him as the Buffalo Bills coach. I'm sure you still do. But at that point, you were thinking about Jim Harbaugh as the next Super Bowl coach. And now I feel like some of the comedy is overwhelming your viewpoint of him.
Is it not?
Yeah, like all of a sudden, him as a potential Super Bowl coach is not the only thing. It's what's he going to say next?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm waiting for here. But I picked the Chargers to make the playoffs last year, and he did it.
So I just sent Manny to the Ducks Twitter feed to watch the video of this speech because they posted it. Because Harbaugh's got 2 circular containers, one in each front pocket of his khakis.
Okay.
Is he double zinning it?
Oh, boy.
I don't think those are zins. I think that might be actual chewing tobacco because I'm looking at his mouth and it looks like there's a wad in there. You can't really tell that there's a wad in my mouth right now, but you can tell that there's a wad in this dude's mouth.
And he's got one in each pocket.
Yeah, no, he's definitely got one in each pocket. I definitely see the indentation of something circular in his pants. But I do believe that's chewing tobacco.
Like, I've never seen that before. One on one side, one on the other?
I don't do chewing tobacco because I was scared off after watching The Sandlot. So I'll just do the
puking?
Yeah, I'm good on that. So I just do the
zins.
The zins, yeah, of course. But no, I think this is chewing tobacco, and yeah, the guys are definitely laughing at him as well. Like these dudes are sitting in their locker. Some of them have their mouths cupped over their hands cupped over their mouths.
They're all like from like.
They're
Russia.
hockey players. No, I mean there are a lot of Americans, Canadians, but they're like on the verge of committing like assault and battery with a stick and sharp feet, and they're listening to this guy talking about snot bubbles.
Well, I mean, come on, football players are tough. Like, it's not that far off. It's just Harbaugh. I didn't think that's funny if he had a whole lip full of tobacco in. That's amazing image.
And they lost.
Well,
Got to say that again.
It's a long season.
Yeah, they're bad. Hurricanes are good, but no motivation from Coach Harbaugh.
Well, that's
last
also
night.
Harbaugh. Like, you got to be, if you're giving the motivational speech, it's like the players only meeting. You got to be strategic about this. You got to have that players only meeting or the speech before the most beatable and before the most winnable game on your schedule.
Yeah, that's
because then
true.
it looks like it works.
This is bad planning.
It's
They
a
were going to
Harbaugh
lose
scheduling
anyway.
error. I mean, come on. What is the attention to the details? Maybe Connor Stallions should get hired by the Chargers, as I've always said. Harbaugh owes that guy a job.
I'm sure he's being taken care of.
I don't think so.
You don't think there's a...
I watched the documentary. He's like persona non grata. I don't think this worked out for him.
He was terrible. He got caught 100 times.
He was doing it for a while before he got
The worst
caught.
college football spy of all time. Every other program had 6 guys on camera who had successfully done what Connor Stallions had done.
It was the fake mustache. He went too hard.
Yeah. He became a TV character. No, he was clearly very bad at his job. Otherwise, we wouldn't know who he was.
Bogusch, did you catch that the Anaheim Ducks had that bongo player do the national anthem?
I did not catch that. Last night, too?
No, this was a couple of nights ago.
Oh, okay.
There was this guy who did an interpretive version of the Star Spangled Banner and just started singing it. But yeah, no.
Do you have it?
I don't have it readily available. Maybe Ryan can find it in a bit. But even Trevor Zegras was dumbfounded at it.
Even Trevor Zegras?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he said that's why we gave up like 2 goals in the first period.
Because everyone was just so in awe by the bongo player?
Yep, they were distracted.
Hockey's having some national anthem issues.
That's an all-time excuse. It's amazing. We were distracted by the world-class bongo player. We just couldn't get that performance out of our minds.
Yeah, it happens. Been there.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then I want bongos when we come back. I want world-class bongoing. Nothing less is going to do.
We're on it.
Okay, guys. We're going to do that. Oh, and we've got to get to this football story that we have not gotten to yet. It's M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed?
Good job, guys, finding the bongo player from Nashville at the Nashville Predators game who did the national anthem.
Amazing.
And apparently the team was so distracted by this incredible performance, they let up 2 goals in the first period.
They said they got off to a really bad start. I don't know if it was exactly 2 goals, but it was nice.
Because they were just so mesmerized by the world-class bongo player.
It was pretty cool, I have to be honest.
Yeah, it's not really the national anthem, though. It's not like he's just playing the bongos and then singing the national anthem over it.
It worked. It worked for me.
He was just trying to catch a vibe.
Cool. I think he caught it. Perloff tried to catch a vibe yesterday, Pearl.
Yeah.
Tell everyone where you were.
So I went to the PSAL versus the CHSAA championship. So this is New York City's public school champion versus their Catholic school champion. Stepinac versus Jefferson. Throw out the record books. Apparently these two teams play all the time. And I was going on to tweet about it. And I went to Stepinac basketball, and lo and behold, followed by Manny Rodriguez. I'm like, why does Manny follow this particular team? This is your hood.
Yeah,
you do
this
some
is-
work for them.
This is basically the team that I do play-by-play for
Yeah.
whenever they have their home game, Stepinac. And yeah, I mean, there's now the 3-time city champions, 3-time CHSAA versus PSAL champions. So yeah, you got to watch some high-quality basketball. You got to see some very good
Well-
players on that Stepinac team that I think will be playing in the NCAA tournament one day.
This is just hilarious because Manny talks about this all the time. And Perloff's like, what is this Stepinac team? I'm like, Manny literally talks about this every day. You're definitely not paying attention. He's like, why
Well-
does Manny follow Stepinac? I'm like, because he loves him. Because
Well, yeah,
this is the
but-
team he talks about.
He also talks about how he was basically keeping score for the New Rochelle baseball games.
Well, Manny gets around.
Oh yeah, big time.
So
He's
wait,
love
a
to get
staple
around.
on the sports scene.
Love to get
But
around.
You said you were blown away by how good those high school players were.
Well, yes and no. There was Stepinac had a 7-footer who blocked about 14 shots in a row, and they just dominated that game. But for some reason, it was a game where I watched the warm up, and they hit every 3-pointer. They were like St. John's in Arkansas. They were about 1 for 40 from 3-point.
Oh, it's
land.
high school.
But usually, no, but you could see they could all, I think they were playing in a neutral gym, and I think the sight lines were off for them because somebody had told me, oh, these are very good three-point shooting teams, a lot of college level players. I was thinking the whole time, how could I fit into this game? I would have been a spot-up catch and shoot guy.
No, yeah, you could definitely be just hanging out in the corner, and once the defense collapses on Carbucci, who's trying to drive into the paint, there you are, Perloff in the corner for three, kaboom.
And how tall are the brothers on that team? 6'11", 6'9"?
Yeah, so Adonis Ratliff is listed at 6'9", while Darius is listed at 6'11".
So are they going to big colleges?
Yeah, these two have basically been offered by basically the same Big Ten and SEC schools. So I mean, yeah, there's only one senior on that Stepanak roster. He's going to UMass. The rest of them are juniors and sophomores, and all of them, if they don't have mid-major offers, all of them have Power 4
These two
offers.
brothers feel like Kentucky, Kansas kind of
Yeah,
brothers.
no, off the top of my head, I don't have I actually probably do have my notes on me, but the Ratliffs definitely do have offers from Mississippi States and UCLA's and among those.
Well, what was funny about what Perloff's talking about is that these players did look very good in person, and they're going to some big colleges, but some not. And think about how good the college players have to be. And most of the college players don't even have a sniff of going pro.
Right. Because even the guys who are recruited don't necessarily make it to this level where they're actually starting for these college teams.
Well, there was an NBA player last week, and we forgot who it was who said this on their podcast, but they said that if you took an NBA player in their prime, just one, and you put them on the worst team in the NCAA tournament, they would win the tournament. So, like, for example, in this instance, if you took Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's likely going to be the MVP this season.
So you're taking the best
basketball player, and I put him on American University, who lost in the first four. American was I don't even remember what athletic conference. I don't even know what they're in. Patriot League, whatever. That they would win the tournament just by virtue of having Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I don't believe that. I think you could box him one, Shai Gilgeous. I mean, maybe back in the day when you had Lou Alcindor, it was 7'3", but no. To me, first of all, some of these players are the same age as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, these days.
I don't see it. Do you think it could happen?
I don't think it could be I don't think it could be the worst team in the bracket. I think if you put like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on BYU, I think they're winning. I think if you put him on, I'm looking at another lower seed.
BYU's a
Arkansas,
6 seed.
Yeah, I think they're winning.
Arkansas, I don't know. That'd be close. I'm not so sure, especially a player like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, an outside player. Prime Shaq, I could see it. I don't know. Prime LeBron, I could see it. You have to be gigantic. I just don't think SGA would do it.
You can go to our Twitter handle, at Maggie and Pearl on X. We got a couple polls we want you to vote on. Number one, Pearl, if you're getting slaughtered in this one, is Duke basketball the only brand that matters in college basketball? 85% say no. They do not like that.
That wording is, let me ask you a question. Is the rating for Duke going to be 50% higher than if Duke's not in it? I mean, I'm telling you right now, if Duke's not in this final, the women's game will beat the men's game again.
You think so, even without Caitlin?
Yes, because the men's games are getting like 13, 14 million with no Duke. And the women's game was 18 last year. If you get UConn, you don't think they can beat that? They're getting a lot of primetime placement over the men's game. If you get, let's say it's Houston versus Auburn, that is not going to get eyeballs.
And you think that would do better? That would lose.
Like if you got USC, and I don't have the bracket in front of me.
No, USC and UConn are playing each other before.
If you got UConn, South Carolina, can we get that?
I believe so. Yeah. I think it's going to be close. The Caitlin effect, I think, is something that is going to be hard to replicate.
Well, my point was Duke moves the ratings tremendously, and there's tons of history on that, and the ratings are way down on the men's games. Not only they get beat by the women, they've had the two worst years, I think, ever in the tournament.
The other question we're asking you on X, are you rooting for John Calipari? He's kind of become weirdly an underdog, which is an odd spot for Coach Cal to be in. 63% of you are saying no, you're not rooting for Coach Cal. By seeding, they're the Cinderella. If you're just going by the highest seed, they're the 10th seed, so they would fit the bill, even though their coach has been to 6 Final Fours, won a national championship, and is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I can't do it. Can't do it. I mean, part of it's the Temple fan in me and the John Chaney, John Calipari fight from 40 years ago.
Holding on to old stuff.
It's college basketball. You never let go of that.
We also have the Maggie and Perloff movie sequel bracket. The Gotham City region is open, so go there and vote, and you will determine who moves on to the Sweet 16.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. By the way, can I give you one more thing? We were talking about this. I did this little piece on the best basketball players in the NFL. and it's the quarterbacks. And a lot of these could have been college-level players. Joe Burrow could have easily been a D1 player. Also C.J. Stroud. A bunch of players were big time. But do you know the draft prospect who was a huge basketball prospect?
So the draft prospect this year's draft, a quarterback who was a huge basketball recruit.
Yes, who was a baller.
I mean, I want to say Milroe just because he's so athletic, but
a little short.
I was going to say, and also he's inaccurate, but like, would he be a great shooter? Oh boy, is it Shedeur?
It is. Cam Ward was a baller. Now it's a little confusing because there's also a superstar high school player, number 1 recruit named Cam Ward, who I believe is going to Michigan State next year.
A different Cam Ward.
A different Cam Ward. But Cam
Correct.
Ward in the Columbia, Texas, was an amazing, amazing basketball player, was going basketball his whole life.
Wow.
And then a quarterback coach said, you're not tall enough to make it to the pros. You're 6'3", or 6'2", 6'3". You should try football. Your upside is higher. I thought that, and I was shocked. It's just a reminder. Again, I see some of these highlights. You have to be so good to just get to college and then to get to the next level. And Cam Ward, again, another reason I'm picking him number 1 overall.
Well, think of where Cam Ward started. It's not like he came out of high school and all of a sudden went straight to Miami. I mean, he had to go to Incarnate Word and work his way to Washington State.
Yeah, it was a pure running offense, a wing T in high school. Never got to throw the ball, so he wasn't recruited by anyone. Was a bigger basketball recruit.
And listen, I think Tennessee has basically telegraphed what they're doing here because they have been non-existent on the veteran quarterback market, and they hold the number 1 overall pick. Doesn't take much to connect the dots there. Thank you to Manny Rodriguez. Thanks to Ryan Botcher. Great to see you, Ryan. Thank you to Andrew Kaplan, to Andrew Bogusch, the Weedos, the coffee drinkers, you guys on the phones. Phenomenal. We're back tomorrow with a whole lot more fun. It's Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break.